Happy Memorial Day Eve. Mm. In spite of Bensonhurst, I like Italian ice. Everybody retweet this now. Mm. Mm. Just dropped Sister Keisha home. How's her husband doing? How's Mr. Foster doing? You know, I've been praying for him, Sister Brooke, off and on. Just praying, asking God to touch Mr. Forrester. He's a grandfather. We need him. Keisha's been through a lot. That would just about break her. She's a strong woman. She's a beautiful, intelligent woman. But she needs a man to be with her, and she wants them, and she's a good woman. They love each other. And I've been praying off and on for him. Just tell her, been praying. Repeat it. We're going to pray some more. That God cover him. He's a good man. All the jokes aside, I mentioned him in sermon yesterday. God's working, we just pray. Hello, everybody. Y'all getting ready? Let me just tell you. Oh my. We're going to be doing lives here. I'm ready to go live on X. I'm on Kuna Bomber. Let me show you the link. Anybody that wants to see it. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm on Kuna Bomber. We're going to be on Twitter. Kuna Bomber. Coona Bomber. Let me send you, for people that want to follow one of my many Twitter pages, in case I have so many, because they take my stuff down. But we'll be able to interact a little bit. Kuna Bomber. Okay, so send a link to Kuna Bomber, Miriam. I'm ready. Even if Italians are bad, Italian ice is good. That was cold. Even if Italians are bad, Italian ice is good. No. Devin, everybody. We're going to get busy. And what we got to do, we got a lot to get done. So, Sister Nikki, the God, and other people, we got to have this conversation. You had an Italian ice today? My God. As long as you didn't have an Italian, just the ice. Just the ice. Now, let me see. Star Thompson. Thanks. Now, how do I get to her thing? Miriam, where is the link so we can get this moving? Oh, she sent me a link 1 minute ago. This says unable to fetch space. I want you to see what it says. Unable to fetch space from Nikki the God. That's weird. Let me take a picture of this, because nobody will believe me. She sent it again, unable to fetch space. We'll be off in a second. This is, yeah, I just need to know how they do. All right. So, okay. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Nikki. Where is Nikki? I can't find the space. Okay, Miriam, we got all these people here. I can start a space if she can't. We do whatever we have to do. I don't really care. But we need to get busy. Okay, I still don't see her. Let me call her again. This is...
Hello?
Hey, Nikki, did you see the
Yeah,
message?
I'm having technical difficulties right now, so I'm having to log into another phone. I can't share this space or anything like that. I don't know what's been going on with Twitter.
Okay, do you
normally
want
don't
me
have
to,
these.
I know, I see what's happening. I told you, you're working with me, dear. It all begins to go bad the minute that all of a sudden people are lying and accusing and so forth, or something goes
Yeah.
wrong. Look, can I start the space and you join? Can you do that? Or what? I mean, I don't care. How would
Let
that?
me let me try from this one phone real quick, and see if this works. Spaces here. Space.
We're
Search
working
a
on
space.
a technical.
Search a space. Okay, still okay. All right, so this seems to be working better. Okay, I just started it. Let me send this to Miriam. I'm gonna send this to only Miriam because I'm just trying to get moving right now. So I'm
Oh, that's a
sending it to
problem.
Miriam.
And will it show up on your
Tell Miriam to
timeline?
send it to everyone else.
Okay. So let me send Miriam a message so we can get this moving. Miriam, get ready for me to communicate with you. Okay.
It's about to be a mess. Okay, I got it. Oh, she's in here. Okay, I'm getting ready to co-host you so that I can go answer the door real quick, and then
Yeah. You see how my Italian ice came? I had to run because it's frozen to run and get it.
yeah, I love Italian ice. It is so delicious. It's
Yes.
so good.
So much better than the people. Psych.
I just sent you a tell her I just sent her a co-host invite,
Miriam,
and I need her to.
you got a co-host invite, Miriam.
And I need her to send the space to some people because I got to answer my door.
Okay, Miriam, she needs you to send the space out to people
And I sent her a co-host invite that she didn't accept.
that she did not accept.
Tell her that she got co-host invite.
Okay, well, I'm communicating with her. I don't know if she is, if she can hear me. So, sorry about that. I told you.
That's okay.
Some
That's
people.
okay. I was talking to two people at once.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to two people at one time.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
No worries. No worries. I just want to know what I'm supposed to do.
We'll send it to you. Oh, come on. Okay, thank you. Okay, I got my lemon ice now. Now we in the business. I had to give me a lemon ice as soon as I saw you had that.
I just did two mangoes.
I'm actually losing weight, but I am being so greedy. So
Okay,
I might
I'm
gain
here.
another 2 pounds.
I got you. I'm here, and I'm in.
Hi, Dr. Short.
Yes. So hold on.
I tried to. Where are you?
Okay. Let me hang up so I can talk to you via this.
Okay.
I'm gonna request. I'm gonna hang up. All right, guys. We finally got it. It got weird. Okay. Why Jesus loves you. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. Here we go. Okay. Can you hear me? Sister Nikki, Sister Miriam, you got a co-host invite. Did she accept it? I don't know if she can hear me, but anybody, Miriam, add it. Okay. Anybody that wants to be in the Twitter space, I understand it's going to be a tight space. You can come to Kuna Bomber and Twitter. Can't guarantee you everybody's going to chat, but we'll do what we can. Okay.
And the volume is super low
Hold on.
here.
Let me turn it up. Mine is, I've got my volume all the way up.
Oh, man, I can't believe this is... Yeah, so it's my phone. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else playing in the background. Let me close everything up. I think there was a YouTube video going. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you perfectly. Now, what about Miriam? They have her as a listener.
I'm trying to send her a request. I'm not sure why it won't. You're allowed up to 2 co-hosts. To add this person, remove 1 co-host. Oh, my God.
Well, you can remove me for a moment.
No, it's just something wrong with Twitter right now. It's definitely something wrong with Twitter right now. It's not allowing me to co-host, and I kind of need her to right now.
Are you a T-Mobile customer?
Oh no, I'm AT&T, buddy. So this is Twitter that's been acting up for me lately.
Okay.
Did you leave all the way out to space and close up your app and come back? Leave all the way out, Miriam.
If she can hear you.
Close up your app and come back.
Okay, so we're in Cunabomber.
I'm telling her to.
We're in Cunabomber.
So she can co-host because it allowed me to co-host him. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the space.
Okay. Miriam just sent me a message. Miriam says it's not allowing her to accept it.
Okay, I'm going to un-co-host you and see if that helps
Yes.
at all. I hate that this is happening.
No, you may have to.
I can't hardly hear anyone anywhere.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you should just start the space all over again. What did you title the space?
I should have just started all over again because I don't know what's going on. I'm going to start it over again on my iPhone. Hopefully y'all all will come back in.
Okay.
Restart this on my iPhone. Peace.
So, is it the same account? Okay. Okay, everybody. They're just giving some difficulty. If you are a T-Mobile customer, they've had problems. Anyway, thank you one and all for checking in today. We'll do the best that we can with this. Sister Star, Sister Devon, Brother Mark, Sister Aja, all those people. Thanks. We're on several channels, and we'll do the best that we can to. We're going to kick off a series of these discussions. There's something absolutely weird going on, and we want to talk about, in particular, there's been an increase in the number of people who are swirling, getting killed. And I'm going to just say so you'll understand, I don't lie to anybody about heritage. My heritage is so heavily mixed, but whatever. To me, black isn't a color. It's not even a degree of how much white or whatever else you are. It's how you ideologically feel about the people who are called black or colored or freedmen or Negro or whatever, who have been in this country time immemorial, and people who are brought over from Africa, and Moors and European people and all the mixes they're in. Okay, some people like me have some, Peruvian and Mesoamerican ancestry and other things, but ultimately, the way I see the world, I see it as a black American, right? I'm very comfortable with that. I don't wish to change. I'm not trying to change. And I'm quite happy with that. But not everybody is. And all of that to say, a lot of my ancestors are all kinds, married, all kinds of people, this, that, and the other. But anybody that understands that knows that regardless of when it happened or otherwise, when I do genealogical research, sex across the color line comes with great consequences. It's not like it's value neutral. And if you run around, I'm speaking to my crew now, if you're involved with people and other ethnic groups with the amount of hatred that's focused towards black Americans, male in particular, with the white woman being at the apex of where the hate comes from, you should not be surprised at what happens to you. Sister Keisha, love you, my dear, praying for you, praying repeatedly for the recovery of your husband. We need him. When I was talking to God about you, it's a sidebar, people. I was saying, God, how can you let so many people and one person's family transition? And it's like almost the only person they have left other than their children and grandchildren. You got to let this one stay. Just for what? You've lost like almost 3 dozen family, maybe 4 dozen people have passed. I mean, let her keep her husband. The children need a dad, a grandfather, a great-grandfather. He's nice. He ain't beating her, not cheating on her, not fagging on her. I mean, why does he have to be sick like this? So, I asked, tell me something. The feeling I got is it's going to be all right. So, I'm not a doctor. I haven't asked you, Sister Keisha, but when I prayed the other day, I felt like it was going to work out. I feel like it's going to work out. I'm believing that things are going to work out for you. You matter. I loved you first time I saw you. You're a beautiful person. I'll tell anybody that. Anywhere I go, anyone that knows me, if we talk long enough, if we talk about New York, I talk about Sister Keisha in Brooklyn. What a good sister, what a righteous sister, how lucky one is to meet someone like you. And I can't imagine what it would be like for you to not have the person that matters around. He's a nice man. He's a sweet man, a strong man, a no bullshit man, a pillar. And when you take something like that from a family, you can almost destroy a family. Moving one person, it's like a house of straws or cards. You have a real strong partner. If you pull that out, it could make a lot of things that were stable fall apart. So that was my prayer. Remember them. Remember all the good stuff. The young people. Remember the bike rides, the self-protection training, people learning about nutrition, a United Africa movement, and families always doing. Don't let them lose. Don't let the circle get broken. So that was my prayer for you. And I'm going to keep praying until I hear he's home. So it matters to me. His support for all the stuff you do. Thorough black talk. Straight black pride. You could have married an asshole man that fought you all the time. And this brother's from another country. He's a co-associate. He's one of the cool international first generation types that gets it. We need people like him, bridge building people who get it. So much love to you. I just have to say that Sister Keisha when nobody else would open the door for me to talk to anyone, she did. She did that for me. Nobody else did it. Nobody but her. Not even my family did that for me, and Keisha did it. Meet me one time and just start doing stuff. We have people still like that. And so let me get a little louder. They're messing with the sound, Miriam. They don't like this. People have no idea how opposed these devils are to the kinds of stuff that we're doing. You have no idea. Because it's free and you're not paying $150 or $1,000 for it, or it's not in some white controlled hotel or some boule event, you have no idea how much they don't like you thinking. They don't like us talking. They don't like us reading and writing. Okay? That's why you have the school to prison pipeline. That's why you have the boys vaccinated. We have hundreds of thousands of young black men who've been destroyed by the allied health thing, by pushing stuff. They want everybody dumb. They just want us to be zombies. They talk about the Haitians and their voodoo. White voodoo's a hell of a lot worse. Now I think everybody's together. Sister Miriam, they keep logging my phone up. I hope y'all can hear me. Did Sister Miriam get to become a co-host?
It's a problem, and I apologize to you in a space, Dr. Short. We had already planned this morning that she was going to co-host the space. Me and Miriam planned that she was going to co-host my space a couple of days ago, and it won't even let her up.
Do you want me to try to co-host the space and us just do this all over again?
You want to start a space up and then you co-host both of us?
Yeah, I
You
think
want to do that, Doctor?
I'll try
Yeah.
it. I'm sorry.
And I would like to invite all of you back, and we apologize for this. I think they're doing this on purpose.
Oh no, they are
I
doing it on purpose. Do you really think they want you, me, and us to hook up? Do you? I told you, whenever I do stuff, all of a sudden problems start occurring. Ask the one
Yeah, I
B,
know.
put my name in the thing, they'll shut everything off. I'm thinking, damn, Umar Johnson, y'all you have millions of people. You won't let me talk to 5 or 6 people? Yeah, come here, selfish. Yes, you can come. There's plenty of food, so I don't know why you're bothering me. It's today Memorial.
Give him some of that lemon ice. He'll like it.
Come on.
Give him some of that lemon ice.
Come on, selfish. Okay, there they are.
Show him. Let me see him.
Uh,
Please.
Oh, be careful, selfish. Be careful. Okay, she's in my lap right now. Ouch. Come here. Come back.
Is she dark gray? He's on YouTube, y'all. He's on YouTube.
Yeah, so let me close this and I'll open up a space. And the other thing is, you haven't told people what you're going to talk about. That's another thing. You just have to be straight.
I was just getting ready to add it to there, but just like I said, YouTube was tripping.
YouTube always trips.
I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to close the space.
Hold on.
Wait for an invite from you, okay?
Selfish is mad. They want to go outside. So let me put the cat's ass outside so they won't fuck with me. Hold on. And see, this is why I need a Yorkie dog. I can tell a dog to shut up. And I hope this cat didn't draw no blood out of me when it jumped. Hold on.
My God.
Hold on. No, hold on. Selfish, let's go. Go, move.
I should have named my daughter that. My daughter is just as old as she is. She's just as spoiled and selfish herself. But I still love her. Yeah, I say I'm praying for Dr. Short. He just got scratched by the cat. Okay, I'm going to end a space to everybody on X. I'm going to end this space. Watch my page. I'll be putting up a notification for when he comes on. I'll put that on my page. Thank you so much, y'all.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Let's try this again. Whew. Okay. I'm going to start the space. I'm almost done. Okay, I'm sending a link up on my page. I'm almost done, people. Hmm. 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 All right. I need to invite some people. So how do I do this? I want to invite co-hosts. 1, 2. Okay. Is that working out for people? I've made an invitation. Can everybody hear me, or is the sound jacked up? Miriam, can you take an invitation? Okay.
I accepted the co-host, but it just only made me a speaker. So
Wow.
I don't know what you can see.
The same thing for me.
Okay, hold on.
So give it a chance and see if it just does something else. If not, we'll just wing it and just make it work.
Okay, invite co-host. I'll do it again. Send invites.
No, Twitter's haven't been having a problem lately, so I think we'll just, people will know that. Well, you just say that we're just the co-host. People will know. It is what it is.
Okay.
People are coming to see. People want to hear what you have to say. So
Okay.
I think we should just go ahead and get started.
Okay, well, we can go ahead and get started. My apologies again, folk. It ain't us, it's Twitter. This is Doge, or should I say Doggy Elon Musk. Again, his sharp, smart ass white boys at work again, yet again, fucking something up that was working before he showed up until his next SpaceX blows up. But I wanted to begin because we're gonna have many of these conversations. But I want to have a very clear conversation because there's the economy in this country has been jacked up and it's not going to get better anytime soon. And there's a very basic American history that we need to deal with. When white people's money runs out, white folk go crazy. I mean, black folk are used to money running out. We've sometimes had to learn to like not have anything in a country that's wealthy. A lot of white folk, they're not used to stuff not going their way. So a white person that's doing really great can be liberal and loving and generous and giving, post-racial, interracial, love everybody, but let their money get jacked up and they get strange real fast. We're talking about white men losing a job and killing his whole family when he loses his job. Black folk lose jobs, get evicted and stuff all the time. It happened to them. They got to hurt somebody. And they may not wait to get to a school or a supermarket to shoot a black person. But if they already have a black person in their life, as I've been saying for years, a lot of you folks out there swirling, you just have to have interracial sex as if it's never been done before. That you're just a matured life insurance policy away from deletion. And even if you're not killed for a life insurance policy, you might get killed because the person just wants to move on. And as much as you've educated them about race, all of you niggas that do one-on-one with white people and you teach them about shit they may have never understood, they realize I could kill this person and get away because I'm white. I never thought about it until I started having black friends. I can kill them, have an all-white grand jury or an all-white jury, and get off killing someone. And this is as old as America. And the thing that isn't old is the crass stupidity, in particular of Swirler, black men and women. But I want to focus in on dumbass black men. Normally I'm attacking feminists. Yes, if you're a feminist, go to hell, you're not shit. I don't care if you're a black feminist, womanist, I don't respect you. And look at this. Go to hell, racists. Get the hell off my platform. Moderators, you see a cracker, see a racist, get them the hell off. This isn't for you. Take your ass to hell. You're going anyway. You dumbass black men that think everything, the universe revolves around your dick. And everything is about, busting a nut. I know what it's like to be in a super racist, dangerous area. More than one time, and a black man's done something risky, inappropriate that could have gotten folk killed over his dick. Over his dick. And he'll get other people killed over his dick. Shit. I don't care if she's white. I don't care if this is a Ku Klux Klan neighbor. That white girl's fine. I'm gonna fucking talk to her. And you got us out with you in some area. And if we didn't have cars, I never driven. Which means, damn, they'll kill our ass by the time the bus gets here for us to try to get out of here. To do stupid shit around. I got a big black dick. I don't need any sexual discipline. That was back in the 60s, and white girls like us. And that kind of behavior is going to get nipped in the bud, and violently so. And for black women, just haven't forgotten your asses. Y'all going to get dogs. If you get with the white dude, like I heard about this case in England about a black woman that married a white dude. And the white dude told her he wasn't racist, and he married her just so he could poison and kill her. Now, you just wanted to kill a black person, so he got close, acted nice. It was a long game of seduction, and then he killed her. Made her drink poison. Like the black boy who went on some field trip in California, and he's drowned and all the white people live. I grew up with white people do pranks and stuff. They understand how little value both black people place on black life and how much less value white people put on black life. You can make someone mad, make a comment, say something, and that person, when they're broke and mad, can decide to get rid of you And they know if you go to the courts, you go to the court, you're a black man against a white woman, I don't care what she's done. That court's more than likely going to rule against you as a black man. If you go to court against a black woman, black man, divorce, almost always, no matter what, the court's going to rule against you. In fact, I'm going to say this. Black men are the biggest bitches of any demographic group. Why? Because black men refuse to coalesce. They refuse to come together. They refuse. They're going to be rugged individuals in a country where we're outnumbered, outgunned. People have more money, and they fucking hate us, and they're unified in their hatred of us, and we don't need each other. I'm just so big and bad. I go to the gym. I run 10, 20 miles. That's fucking retarded, because they can bring 20 people out to take you out. But black men don't think that. In fact, as a people, we think we're a bunch of individuals that won't be accepted by white people instead of being an ethnic group that's a separate and distinct people. That's the way you're treated by them, and we refuse to embrace, damn, we're separate people. The Kerner Commission study says a nation that's black and white, separate and unequal, and we walk around pretending, oh, well, just a little bit of time, we're going to become part of the white nation. That's a goddamn lie. And if having sex with white people would make us free, you have to explain to me why roughly 20% of the people enslaved in this country had white parents. Just saying. So it's stupid. And you're going to see a lot of black men get destroyed. And let's just, for honesty's sake, let's also acknowledge that the same rule applies. If you're a black man, in fact, we've got a soaring rate of crystal meth or ice addiction among black men in urban areas. Why? They're messing with white gay men who want to experiment and see a black man get high. And when they go on the little phone, the little code language is, if you want to hook up with this white guy, he seems kind of liberal, he's got a Nelson Mandela picture in his room, whatever, Martin Luther King picture, and so, it can have some hot interracial sex. And the white guys, they drink different sorts of coffees and teas, unlike black dudes that just drink Lipton. Whatever fucking excuse black sodomites make to swirl. Or black men don't read books, black men don't travel, black men are shallow, white men have more spirituality, they listen to class. I went to Harvard, heard all this stupid shit from black male and female gays. However, you're still black. And like the little black dude who impressed me, nice looking black man, we have nice looking people. This black dude probably went on he thought he was going to have some good, hot, clean, hot, fun sex with white guys. And they left his ass in the desert to die. And he was found dead. Dumbass black gay dude. Just because you could suck a white dick, or you got a bubble butt, or you got a big black cock, a BBC, as they say, you're still a nigger. You're still a nigger with your big black dick. They had big black dicks in slavery. They had big black dicks in Jim Crow. They had big black dicks in Reconstruction. You got a big black dick in your credit red line, a big black dick in housing covenant, big black dick in health disparity, education disparity with your big black dick, mass incarcerated with your big black dick.
Damn, Dr. Short.
Your big black dick. If it was the solution to every fucking thing, why aren't we free with your big black dick? Why do people come in and murder us in our communities? Why do we have tens of thousands of missing women? Why do we have hundreds of thousands of children stolen from us by Child and Family Services?
Right.
Why are neighborhoods crumbling? Why do illegals come and take and do all the skilled jobs that we used to do? And you've got big black dicks and you're fucking white women and white men now. I'm not impressed. Fuck you. And when you get killed swirling, Don't look to me to get to your damn crowdfunding thing posthumously. If a white man's ass to drink your white man's semen is worth dying for, then motherfucker die on that sodomite hill. If white pussy is worth dying for, then you die on the cave cooch hill. Don't
Y'all
come
hear
running
that?
to us. I don't want to be involved. It isn't.
Message.
It is not a black man who's married to a white woman that's become part of the black community. As I said, my grandfathers who fought in the Civil War in both the United States colored troops and in the United States Army, when there was no colored troop for them to be in, so they went in as white people, fought as whites, and when there was a chance to be with black men, they joined the colored army. Some of them were married to people who were nominally black or white. My great-grandmother 3 generations ago is a woman from Germany. It doesn't make me feel special. I'm glad I look like a black American. But I had 2 great-grandfathers, one named Basil Kelly and another one named Theodore Lancaster. Basil Kelly went into the Union Army at the age of 61. My other grandfather went into the Union Army, and these people could pass for white, at the age of 65 to fight for black freedom. So I'm not tripping off of light skin or mixed marriages where people become part of the community and serve the community. But these people that make these kids who identify more with whites and they hate black people like Obama, we don't need any more kids like that. To hell with that. And I'm going to say this. Same black men that are abortion clinic getaway drivers that take their black women to kill their babies have kids with white women because they want the half-white kids. They'd rather be fathers to them than wholly black kids. You guys aren't shit. When you go into court, you lose. Back to the gay shit. Someone mentioned Ed Buckner, the white dude who was drugging black men and killing them. And he's a big Democratic Party donor. He killed maybe 3-4 black men. And they didn't want to prosecute him. They have the right to kill us. They do. A de facto, not de jure. De jure means the law. De facto means what is. By fact, they have a license to kill us. That includes white women. And so, you stupid ass black men with your big asses, your bubble butts that white men like because they don't have asses either most of the time. A lot of black men in particular, they keep talking about all the transsexuals. Don't you realize that it's rogue white cops and other people that kill black sex workers and they disappear? There's a video, a film called Blue Bayou, look it up, where a white dude by the name of Dominique may have killed 25 black men. A gay white dude was just slaughtering black men. They didn't even want to solve it. Black men disappear and get killed all the time. Fucking white men with your big black dick, and they'll put your ass in a hole in the ground just as sure as your your poppy seed. Ed Buck killed folk, and he's probably going to get out of jail early for good behavior. People seem to forget, the white people celebrated Jeffrey Dahmer up in the Midwest. In the Army, Jeffrey Dahmer was drugging and raping black men. He got an honorable discharge. Then he would cruise and look for black men, because let's just get to the bottom of it. Black men, you fuckers that follow Malachi York and other people, y'all talk a good game. But when the lights go out, if a white dude's got some paper, you guys that have no moral principles, y'all will screw and fuck and suck just about anybody. Any race, because black men have become holes. We're the biggest fucking holes on the planet. We don't care where we put our sperm or our seed. We don't care what happens with the progeny. I'm talking about a good 50% of y'all. And then y'all choose to get with white. And then when I, then when I get with a white woman or a white man and some shit goes wrong, help me, help me. No, help yourself. Everyone says, oh, you're lynching, Emmett Till. Well, what did you fucking learn from it? Nothing. So, right? Need a white in your bed? Get a bullet in your head. Am I saying every white person? No. Am I saying many white people? Yes. Give you another example. It happened in Illinois a few years ago. I think it's Joliet, Illinois, where some stupid ass black dudes thought that they're gonna get to smoke some weed and play video games and fuck white girls. And the white girls had the black guys come over, drug them, had their white boyfriends kill them, and the white people had sex on top of their dead black bodies with their big fat black dicks. Dumb motherfuckers. And you know what? The courts didn't even really want to punish them. Well, they were young. Their lives are ahead of them. Stupid. So the economy is bad. Whenever the economy gets bad, whites start killing black people. That's American history. And the closer you are, typically who gets murdered? The people that are closest to you kill the people that are closest to them. Fact. So, and white men lead what? White men lead in one case of murder called familicide. White men are more likely to kill their whole family, multiple members, than any other group of men. So they will kill everybody. And you know what? All they have to do is go to court and say, I feel remorse. I'm sorry I killed a nigger. Ooh, he's a great person. Look at how he's growing. This is why when these little fuckers write in when I'm giving my sermon and talk about forgiveness, what white people mean by forgiveness is impunity. Accept the fact that we do what the fuck we want. That's what they mean by forgiveness. Forgiveness for me means I'm going to stop doing the shit that was wrong to you. And you're going to not want to you're going to allow me to change the way that I've treated you. For them means forget about whatever I've done to you because I'm going to do it again and get used to it. That's what forgiveness means to them. And I don't care who, everything shows that what I've said is the truth. Treaties with the Indians, treaties with the Japanese, treaties with the Koreans, treaties with the Vietnamese, treaties with the Afghanis, treaties with the Iraqis, treaties with the Haitians, Dominicans, all the laws regarding civil rights for Black Americans and Indians, you name it. They're covenant-breaking killers to a man and a woman. And if you need to lay down with that, it's your ass, not mine. Did I say everybody? No. But I grew up with people whose parents, and I watched it, and I got some books around here. We're going to be reading and talked about that. There's a book called Prejudice in Your Child. And it talks about how white people teach their children by the age of 3 and 4 to hate black people. I mean, before their asses can read, write, and sometimes speak, they know that you're the damn enemy. And sometimes they go through phases where they decide, I'm going to rebel against my parents. You know what? I know how to make my parents mad. I'm going to get a black boyfriend. That'll just that'll just make my dad lose it. Just a black person, no matter how nice he is, no matter how clean, decent, respectful, that would just send my parents off. It'll upset my mother. And when that shit gets old, I can go back to being white. The same white people that were hippies and marched for civil rights in the 60s, early 70s, became yuppies, for gentrification, the destruction of black communities, pushing for Planned Parenthood to destroy us as a people, supporting the illegals coming in the country to replace us. Same damn people. Same Karens and shit you see attacking people that are in their 60s and 70s and 60s, 70s, 80s. Those were the hippies that were talking about peace and how they marched with Martin Luther King. And that was in. It was a fad. Hey, I don't hate black people. Now, hating black people's a fad. They joined it. When the Ku Klux Klan was in, 5 million white men were fully dues-paying members of the Klan. Newspapers. The Ku Klux Klan had radio stations, radio shows, records, movies, newspapers. For several years, just hating black people was the biggest thing in America. That didn't just go away, people. For me, I remember going to the store and there used to be candies called Nigger Toes. It ceased to be as cool, so they changed the names. There used to be nigger hair stuff, then it became bigger hair. All this stuff sort of changed. Some of y'all asses haven't seen. All that stuff is going under the surface of what this country really is. But when white folks, all you gotta do is mess with their money. Mess with white folk money, white folks start killing family members. They'll kill a white person that matters to them. Damn, you just roadkill. You're already dead just by your skin color, your melanin count. Your melanin count, you're nobody. So, back to people like Jeffrey Dahmer eating black people, and he's not the only one. Just like the white man in Massachusetts, they checked his grill and they found the remains of burnt up black women. Not that we don't have black serial killers, we do. We had a strangler in Cincinnati. We had a strangler in Cleveland. We had a strangler in Miami, black men that were mass killing black women. We have tens of thousands of missing black women. We had the Green River Killer, white dude killing black women, killing all kinds of women. Black women get killed all the time, and black men get killed too. And a lot of times black men, y'all weedy, y'all smoking, y'all don't do this, that, and the other. You gotta get out there, right? Yeah, you do. And you're alienated from everybody. And then you end up with some white bitch who's been drinking Mountain Dew since she was a baby, so she's got no teeth, so she can go down on your big black dick better than the sister. Man, she can take it in like a sword swallower. The sister would be coughing up, vomiting up my semen when she sucked my dick. But the white girl, she would take a white woman, know how to suck a dick. Then the white girl know how to smoke the mic. Sisters be all too prim and proper, man. Hold just gump on this to see the white girl. You know what? She'll bake your cherry pie and suck your dick. A sister be wanting you to take her to Red Lobster. I've seen this kind of shit. And always making a comparison between all the black women and all the white women as if all white women are angels and all black women are devils. There's no such thing. All black women aren't fat, but too many are. And all white women don't have little boy asses, but most do. And a certain white women have the weebles wobble, but they don't fall down by it. You know how, like, they're built like the letter 8 and shit? Like there's a glob at the top, and then there's a little bit of another glob. It's weird. You know, I don't know what that's about. I don't want it. I'm not mad. If you have to have white sex, I get it. I got swirler cousins, swirler people. They just have to have white pussy. My thing is when shit goes south, lose my number. Lose my email. No, I won't give to your GoFundMe because you knew better. So I want to say to you, this is going to become the next trend. Okay? And so I could just see a white woman getting a black boyfriend and getting them to try some fentanyl, because they have these weird sex things that white people like to do. Like, they like to use drugs and nearly die and then get resuscitated with Narcan, except what they probably do, the black person's let them overdose and then run. Oh, I can't find the Narcan. Let's call 911. Let's call 911. Let's call. Oh, it's so terrible. I loved him. And get paid off his ass dying. People do this shit. You know, I'm not here preaching hatred against anybody. I was raised in part by a white family. I know that my head grew up on a white woman's titty. It felt good too. And so I'm not walking around here telling you to hate anybody. But I want to say to you that the husband of the woman that helped raise me absolutely hated my guts because I was black. And he's trying to teach his kids the opposite of what the mother's saying. Love Steve and Randy. And this dude is saying, hate them. They're black. Why do you deal with them? Why do you, right? This dude hated us. And those dynamics play out in white families. I'm not talking about someone I didn't love. I love Vera. Vera helped me. Vera combed my hair. Vera changed my diapers. Vera rocked me in her arms. I love Vera. I think about Vera. I love Misha and Leela. They were my brother and sister. But their father absolutely hated us for being black. And there's nothing that we could ever do to win him over. He was like white America, even though he was from Russia. Okay? I'm just telling you. When you get into some of these white family situations, everybody doesn't like you. Everybody didn't sign in for you. Some of them did. And I'll tell you something. If it comes down to you and the white family member that they came up with, most of the time, you're going to stick with your family. You're supposed to do that. You're the odd nigga out. And I'm not even asking them to love anybody. I'm saying, you hating yourself, you being a self-hating nigga, you're the problem. Now let's just talk about this. I gotta go in the area because Black Lives Matter, people like Don Woman or Don Lemon, Cory Booker, Fag-Keem Jeffries. That's my name, Keisha. Fag-Keem Jeffries. All of these black dudes that run with white men, if you ever really study, in fact, I got one of my books here. I'm going to hold it up. We're going to read out of this. Y'all want me to read out of this book? This is one of my family classics. We got multiple copies. It's called Sexual Life Between Blacks and Whites by Beth Day. I think this Beth is the first name. And I came up, Beth Day. Sexual Life Between Blacks and Whites, The Roots of Racism. This is a book I grew up with. This has been in our family for 45 years. No, longer. I think we've had these books for 50 years. And I'm going to read from this. In fact, I may do it after we do this thing on Twitter, because I know these ladies are going to have to go to sleep. They need their beauty rest, and they're beautiful too. But I'm going to read from this because we're going to be talking about it, because there's another issue, but let me just deal with this sex thing. Gay people have their own language. I'm not picking on gay folks. Again, I would tell everybody, I don't hate nobody. I would tell anybody that my gay great aunt saved my grandfather from a lynch mob. I'm here because my bulldagger aunt was a brave ass woman. I love my bulldagger aunt that looked like a black Dick Van Dyke. Okay? I do. I don't have to agree with how she lived. She saved my grandfather. I got a life because of a lesbian. So I don't walk around and say, ooh, kill gay people. No. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that white homosexuals are for white people. Black homosexuals are for white people. What's wrong with that damn picture? Latino homosexuals are for Latino people. Oriental, Southwest Asian, all of them are for their people. Except for our pussy-licking, dick-sucking sexual minorities. The motherfuckers are off base, not just sexually, but you don't have your priorities in order. This is why y'all don't like James Baldwin, and you like that pedophile rapist Bayard Rustin. Okay, I said it. I like James Baldwin. I do not like Bayard Rustin, because Bayard Rustin was a gay first. He put being a sodomite ahead of being black. James Baldwin says I'm black and what I do in private is my business. What more can I expect of any human being but to demand the right to their privacy? How they live is how they live. I can disagree as a Christian, which I do, but ultimately respect their preference, as long as you're not messing with kids and you're not a predator. So I'm down for Baldwin. But the problem is our gays ain't like Baldwin anymore. They're basically dick-sucking and pussy-licking Benedict Arnolds. You guys are sexuality traitors, sexuality coons. And you guys prioritize. You're down with the illegals. You're down with everything. And you're against the community as if there's some separate black gay community when the white sodomites or white gays don't share none of the monies and all that corporate shit for Pride Month. That shit doesn't touch the black gays. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get the good medications and shit to fight all the STDs you get out there sex working. No, you don't. You're under what I call queer crow. There's more racism among white gays against black homosexuals than any other community. Fact. And so they get turned out. And when the black folks, like in places like Mississippi, where a huge number of black men in Jackson, Mississippi are dying from AIDS, are white gays sending money to save black gays? You're out of your damn mind. They don't do it. And this is the thing I'm going to say about little black gay motherfuckers. You guys, when you get into trouble, you come back to the same community that you trash for being homophobic and everything else. And we're supposed to save your faggot asses. And yet you work to tear the community down with other people. I mean, it's a fucking deal breaker. It's non-negotiable. No matter who you screw, you should be for your own people. And that's why I want to talk about this issue of sexual delineation. No matter who you screw, you're supposed to be for your racial crew. I repeat, no matter who you screw, you're supposed to be for your racial crew. And real delineation, you have no business sleeping with the enemy, fraternizing with the enemy, swirling with the enemy, fagging and studying and dyking and being feminist and faggonist with the enemy. Are people your enemies? The body count says yes. Now let me just say this. The gay folks have a whole lexicon of words. For example, a white man that's gay that likes black men is called a dinge queen. Dinge is another word for shit or mud. So white men that like black men in the gay lexicon is a dinge queen. Oh, they like blacks. That's inferior. Gay clubs and stuff, they don't do stuff for black people. No, they don't. No, they don't. And so I just want to deal with that. Black folk who are gay that think that somehow, because I had a gay dude tell me, I have a new community. In other words, his community was gay people, not black people, even though they were black. I belong to them. I'm not a part of the black community. A lot of people are sucking dick and munching pussy, carpet, sisters and brothers, and as a means to escape. It's black self-hatred, it's pathological, it's Stockholm syndrome, it's alien self-psychology, it's psychosis, it's psychotic. You're sick. And the same is so for a black man that would die for some run-through bargain basement trailer trash pussy. I said it. And the same thing for a black woman who will bitch about how much money a black man has. He's only making $70,000 a year, and yet you'll fuck a white boy making 15. Oh, you hoes have been found out too. We'll get back to y'all, but I gotta talk to black men. You guys are gonna be the primary victims of the violence that goes around as the economy gets bad. And trust me, if it's not the white woman that shoots and kills you, it'll be her brother, her dad, the cops. It'll be more and more black men destroyed or black men committing suicide. She called me a nigger. Oh my God. And she's been listening to rap music all her life. She used the word nigger and he's crying. She called me a nigger. Or they're role playing Mandingo or Roots and shit. Call me Miss Ann. Miss Ann, call me Miss Ann again. Say I'm your sex slave. I'm a sex slave, baby. Think you're my sex slave again. That's right. Hey, much as pussy, nigga. I'm gonna tell them. And then black folks role playing. And they're black women too, being called wench and slut and bitch, getting slapped around. I say he loves me, right? What happens when someone says we were just having some rough sex, and I hung this bitch by accident? I really love her. We were married. What about that? Or poisonings or other things. And get your ass to move to some rural area, like in Idaho, where the coroner and all of them are Klansmen. Oh, yeah, well, you know, we need those organs. Don't be surprised if black men who have really good organs start getting married, people marrying you and killing you so they can sell your organs. These things happen, and more of it will happen. And I want to say to you, no matter what, I'm not expending any of my energy or time on anybody that subjects himself to that kind of shit. In fact, I'm going to now say something. You sorry-ass, swirling men and women, we can't find your ass standing for any cause. Reparation, healthcare, missing persons, your asses are MIA on every single solitary fucking cause in black America. Because you're selfish, you're self-hating niggas that want to run away from this problem. And therefore, you guys may as well be enemy combatants. You're traitors, you know, you've crossed over. If you have problems running away from the community, that's your fucking business.
Indeed.
Yeah. Someone wrote, hey, pretty girl. I think they're talking to me. Some homo shit. Their ass is blocked. Damn. I think they were African or whatever. But they're gone now. It's some stupid nigga. The name is Bantu Mandinka. No, Mandinka isn't. This is some American nigga that doesn't know. Bantu is a different language group from Mandinka. So that's a black American, a Pan-Africanist asshole. Bantu is one language group. Mandinka are going to be people who speak Nilotic, Afro-Asiatic languages along the Sahel. Motherfucker, get the metaphor right. And if anyone's a faggot, it's you propositioning me and shit. I mean, StreamYard. It should be called Sperm Yard with all these weirdos on here. Well, now his ass is off my channel. Fuck you very much. I don't care. Okay, we need to be delineating. We bitch and complain about tethers. Tethers aren't as much a threat to black people as swirlers. Swirlers are a greater internal enemy to us. A lot of the slave revolts failed because it was a black woman using fucking the white man that she loved and she ratted. That's Jamaica, that's Guyana, that's America. That's everywhere. Always somebody fucking someone else snitching because they're in love. We don't need you. So please leave us. We need to delineate. If you can't put the fate and destiny of your people ahead of your dick, some dick control, some self-respect, some clitoris control for you ladies, Y'all deserve what the hell you get when they beat your ass or kill you or take your organs or steal your eggs or take your kids because you put your black ass out there unprotected and you didn't want to have anything to do with us. Why the hell call us when you're in trouble? That's like trying to get an insurance policy after your house is on fire. Try that shit with State Farm. They may not give it to you if you had the insurance before the fire. Just ask people in Altadena. So, it's time to delineate. We need to start making people that swirl enemies. Okay? You're going to have to decide. We're going to have to be a people. We can't have people fucking all over the place, whoring all over the place, sleeping with everybody, sucking everybody, and bringing their diseases back across town. Using everybody else's drugs. Like I was saying earlier, you get these black gay dudes who are meeting white guys on Grindr and all these other little homo apps, and the white guy gets them in and gives them all kinds of crazy drugs and gets them strung out on crystal meth. That's why there's so many crazed out, insane black men in New York. They gay. They got these white dudes drugs. The white dudes got them used to it. Then they got them hooked, did all kinds of humiliating shit, made them do stupid ass porn and shit, and threw them away. Typically, once they have AIDS and other shit, then they're of no use to anybody. Black people are disposable to racist white people. Gay ones, straight ones. And by the way, at one point, it may still be the case, 1/3 of the marriages that black women get are to white men in this country. Black women, I know good black men are hard to find, but they're out there. A lot of folks don't try that hard. A lot of folks look for excuses. I've been in situations where black women wouldn't even let you say hi to them. Well, I can't meet any black women. Run away from. I mean, I'm telling you, at Harvard, the black woman wouldn't make eye contact with black males, so you couldn't speak to them. I'm like, damn. I mean, I remember looking in the mirror saying, am I that ugly that you got to cover your face when I come by? Or turn or you run? I mean, I look that bad? I don't think I have that unattractive a face. I mean, I had other brothers. I mean, in fact, the black guys ended up running to white women because the black women wouldn't take them. Everybody was chasing the black men except the black women, the gays, the Asians, the white. Everybody wanted black men except for these stupid ass black feminists. You good black women have the duty to get feminism the fuck out of the black community. The sooner the better. Feminism must be expunged from the lives of black people. I'm not talking about women's rights or justice for women, but this white female supremacy shtick. And see, the white women tell black women kill their babies. They're struggling to have babies for white men. White women tell black women that Lizzo is fine when she's morbidly overweight, and yet white women starve themselves to death to please white men. White women tell black women to do the opposite of what white women do with white men. And dumbass black women are listening. But we want to talk about black men. Black men, the day of worshiping your dick is over. In fact, your dick is going to end up being a noose around your neck, and it's probably big enough to choke you out. In fact, your big black dick has a chokehold around your neck. Now, I got this book. I thank God. I have another one. I couldn't find it, but I bought another copy. This is brand new, Without Sanctuary. I was so lucky to get this. I mean, you may have to pay up to $400 to get one. This is a album of just pictures where white folks were making greeting cards and shit out of murdering black men. Don't think that this shit can't come back, but it would be done clandestinely, sold on the dark web. They probably have shit when cops kill people, like when those twins committed, or they said those twins committed suicide in Georgia. I don't know. The people send out pictures everywhere. If you don't think, and this photo and selfie obsessed, that they aren't going to make pictures of dead black people and all and sell it, I assure you that they will. And your ass will end up being merchandised on some dark web Klan website. If white pussy is worth dying for, then it's none of our affair when you get your ass killed. If white dick is worth dying for, if you have to have kids that don't look like folks in your family with two black parents, if that is the price of your life, if that's your bucket list to be with someone white because you can't be with nobody black, you hate your mom and your dad and your people, then, you're already dead to us. I'm not asking you to stay because we're not beggars. Being black has worth and value even if you don't see it. In fact, our value goes up when people like you get deleted. When you get the fuck out of our community or someone takes your black ass, self-hating ass out. It's doing us a favor because you're not doing anything to upbuild or upgrade or improve our community. You're here sucking up oxygen, sucking our fucking air, taking our damn energy and wasting it on trivial, whore-ass affairs. And just because it's heterosexual doesn't mean that it's commendable. In fact, you're supposed to like pussy, but you're supposed to like pussy among your own people first. Sisters should have first buyer's option on the dick in your pants, not some trailer bitch. I damn ass mean it. I'm dead ass serious. I know that there are a lot of difficult black women out there. There are many. But white women divorce black men in the same proportion that black women do. They don't stay, guys. It's a lie that white women are more submissive. It's a lie. Some white women are more submissive. You can't uniformly make all white women good or kind or loving or great mothers. You can't do that. You need to start doing some reading, some statistics. And by the way, since black men are such cheap whores, if you've had one big black dick, you've had them all. My friend Patrick, who committed suicide because his fat, dumpy, racist-ass wife decided to cheat on him, the thing that really, really fucked him up, that pushed him over the edge, because he had a fight with her. She tried to shoot him with his gun, and in defending himself, he broke her nose. She was getting fucked by some local nigga down in Missouri. This dude is fucking this white woman with the broken nose. So hungry for some white pussy, he's gonna fuck a woman with 5 or 6 kids of another black man. Black men have no loyalty, you have no tact, no couth, no dignity, no decency. You're full of trash. I'm not saying all, but the type of black dude can't wait to fuck another man's woman, fuck another man's child. We're gonna have to, part of delineation is we need to delineate who you sleep with, and we're also gonna have to have some rules, delineate that pedophilia is off the fucking table for the black community. We're never going to become a community that embraces pedophilia or pedophiles of any color, in particular starting in our own communities. It's sad. And sisters, we'll do another thing. We're going to be doing this stuff all this week. In fact, we calling for a sex cut. The only way, no more interracial fucking until we get reparations.
Indeed.
No more. I mean, we need to, the white people dumped the British people's tea in Boston Harbor. Well, we already look like Indians. Let's just dump old white pussy and limp dick white guys in the fucking harbor of the past and move the hell on. And I just want to say that that's absolutely ridiculous that we're whoring and screwing, in fact, aborting black kids, but we want the mixed kids doing our own little bleaching thing. That's got to stop. And I want to say that this has got to stop. Is it saying that there's one group that's superior to another? No. Am I saying that people can't marry someone in another group? No. I'm saying we need to be serious about who we lay down with and why. And the day of pretending that everything is about busting a nut instead of planning a legacy, plotting a future, plotting a destiny. We got to change our shit up, raise our goddamn game, right? And that starts with black men. And so we're going to have to delineate. We must delineate. We have to like segregate. In fact, we need to put borders around our bed. Our beds have broken borders. Everybody's in bed with us. We need to kick their asses out. You want to get white folks' attention? And I can tell you from personal experience, be a black man that's not trying to swirl. They all complain about it. He's not available. We want you for what? I'm already part white. I'm probably too much white. That's probably why I'm so mean. I probably need to be more black. Maybe be a little cooler, better dancer, more inches. And I just want to say something to all of the hateful white men out there and to all the ignorant swirlers out there who are going to be the victims of this black fatigue, because black fatigue is really not what it is. It's dick fatigue. It's big black dick fatigue. White men with erectile dysfunction are tired of seeing black men be favored for their big black dicks over them. And so, I mean, there's never enough Viagra, Red Bull, Cialis, horny goat weed, whatever the fuck you're taking. What is this stuff, Redwood? There's never enough of that to be in the competition with the myth of the big black dick. You know, when I was getting my heart surgery, and when your blood flow is down, I mean, it includes your opinion. So, my dick went from a decent size to like romper room size. I was shocked too. It's like, God, I've got a clitoris. Shit. Oh my God, where's my dick, God? Where is it? Bring it back. Help me, Jesus. Bring my dick back. I miss it, right? The white holes, as they were operating on me, complained about how small my dick was. When I have a blood flow problem, I had internal bleeding, you dumb bitch. But that was the main thing. I mean, my life is in balance, and they're looking at my dick. And, I mean, it's gotten bigger now. I'm glad. They would have been playing with that shit. Had it been bigger, I would have been getting stroked under sedation and not getting paid. Well, I even remember the Japanese woman giving me a shower. She kept looking. I don't know your thing to me. That was wild. They're tired. It's big black dick fatigue. And so you swirlers are making white men mad. In fact, I'm going to tell you, your spine, your sciatic nerves would be better off if you stopped fucking so many white women. And a lot of unhappy black people out here, if they were getting boinked more often, some of them might want to go to the gym, have less attitude. A lot of sisters are mad running around because I know you're fucking a white woman. And here, if you have any kind of education, black women just assume you're fucking white woman, don't you? You swirlers have made us look like we're all like on a crusade to get white pussy. It ain't so. Okay? I had a white woman want to marry me and say, I'm not marrying a white woman. Because someone's going to call me or my kids a nigger at Christmas, and I'm going to be like Freddy Krueger on y'all. And I already know I can't handle that. So, I'm going to help you find a white man. You're going to marry somebody white, and you're going to have like, you're going to have white kids, and I'm going to have a black family, okay? My grandfather worked very hard, tired of being asked if he was white or Chinese and shit, married someone very dark-skinned. That seems to be a thing in my family for people who did not like, we can accept we part white, we know it, right? As I said, I'm not lying about anybody white in the family, but I'm black, okay? I'm very happy with it. I remember having a fist fight with my white teacher because I didn't want to be called Negro. This is like 1973. I felt good about what the fuck I am my whole life. I don't understand self-hating, psychotic, traitor niggas like a lot of you out there. You guys are scum. In fact, some of y'all need to be lynched. Maybe we should get your asses first. In fact, that's how a lot of people get social movements. They punish traitors and swirlers first. It's even in the damn Bible. Nehemiah beat up the swirlers in the book of Nehemiah. That's in the goddamn Bible. God didn't want his people fucking everybody else. Y'all claim to be Hebrews, well, you're not supposed to have your drawers dropped for pagans. And that's all I have to say. I mean, we could do more. I could actually read some of this book. Y'all want me to do some reading from the sexual relationship between blacks and whites? Let me see.
Indeed, we do. That would be great, Doctor. And I wanted to also just add on the fact that we have all these entertainers and athletes, and they're pushing this unhealthy mindset and behavior towards our youth, not knowing that it's not rosy on the other side. You end up being tied in someone's basement or caged up in their garage or drug off somewhere in the forest, and all sorts of heinous things happen when you choose to cross that line and become a swirler. And it's quite treasonous, actually, because you will be divided. Your loyalties will be divided, and then you bring a child into a world of confusion. And 9 times out of 10, these are the type of people who report, a movement, because they're so screwed up in the head, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose their white allegiance.
And it's like
family,
Black Lives Matter.
Allegiance.
All the people that are fucking us up right now are swirlers. They're gay. They're into some kind of bullshit that messes us up. And it's all about who they're fucking.
The boulets and the sororities.
Yes, they're
the
either
Masons,
degenerate
all of these
sexually,
people.
or either they're into some crazy, so all the little studs in Black Lives Matter with white women. The mayor of D.C. is supposedly into a white woman. Karen Bass is a swirler. Westmore, his wife is black, but I think he's like Tarzan. He may swing both ways. He smiles too much. His clothes are always tight too. Normal men don't want form-fitting clothes. That's to accent your body so a man can see it. Just saying. Just think about it. And notice how he's doing that gay shit out in Maryland. That's right near over where I am. So don't tell me I'm not hearing this shit. And when I saw him grab the mayor of Baltimore from behind and lift him up like he's gonna go into him, and they both laughing, I says, I don't want nobody to grab me from behind and tilt me up like he's gonna fuck me like that woman that got fucked in the in the hoodoo house in the movie Sinners. Remember, he was like hitting her from the back and shit. Please stay away from my ass. My ass is an exit. It is not an entrance. It's not a service entrance. Okay. Let me see. Okay, now let me read some of this before we close out. Okay, and you know what? I want to say something else. When these Negroes get married, or not necessarily married, but when they get with a mixed couple, they always favor the white family over the black family. They always tell the black family to kiss the white family's ass, or the Asian family's ass, or the Spanish-speaking family's ass. Now, this is Beth Day's Sexual Life Between Blacks and Whites. This book is a first edition. It's approximately 50, this is 72, it's 53 years old. So this book was like the shit. And I want to read from chapter 12. And there's this book, I really love this book. It's hard to find it. If you can find I might read a little bit more of this, but this is wild. And it's written by a white woman that's telling the truth.
Indeed.
You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do 14, and do I'm gonna do 12.
Yes, 12 and 14.
12
Those
and
are
14.
excellent chapters.
Okay. Chapter 12 from sexual relations between blacks and whites. And this chapter is black white sex sick? And here's a quote. An interracial sexual situation occurring in this country at this time offers a unique opportunity for acting out many neurotic complexes. Historically, the sexual exploitation occurring between blacks and whites is primarily that of the black woman by the white man. And some areas where wages remain low and the economic leverage is used to gain sexual favors, this picture still obtains, although the black employee, unlike the slave, does have the option to refuse and look for another job. Quote, as poor as I am, I won't take a sleep-in job where there's a man in the house. Close quote. One pretty domestic explained to me. Wherever the black woman has found a means of economic survival without granting sexual favors, she is refusing to be exploited even by her own black men. The first strong position that many black women take when they do obtain financial and social independence is to refuse to play the sexual game. White men, other than employers who hold an economic whip, often find themselves at a disadvantage with black women today simply because of the past. They don't know how to approach black women. Black women are apt to be highly suspicious of a white man's motives, and those men who are the most sincere may expose themselves to rejection and ridicule when they do pursue a black woman. Quote, I'm not saying I would never consider going out with a white man, close quote, commented an attractive black poet at New York City College. Quote, he'd have to be an extraordinary man. He'd have to prove to me he was genuinely interested in me as a person, close quote. Some black college and career girls who identify strongly with the black movement say flatly that they would not consider dating white men. Quote, dating a white man right now is an unaffordable luxury, close quote, explained an associate editor on a woman's magazine. Quote, you can't talk about unity and togetherness and nation building and be involved with the white, close quote. A black account executive who was once married to a white and is now divorced said that she is currently dating only black men. Quote, I went through that white boy bag, and I find I really don't have that much rapport with white men. Being with the black man feels better to me, close quote. Young whites who date and marry across the color line today may merely be reflecting the current white youth revolution against the parent generation. Remember I said fads, trends. It's not because I love you. I want to show my parents I do what I want, so I'll get me some black dick or some black pussy. I'll show mom and dad I'm my own person. Not that I love black people. So black folks are a prop, a science project, a safari. Like the little sub that blew up and shit. Look for the Titanic. Anyway, let me stop. Oh, white youth revolution against the parent generation, and deliberately dating blacks in order to show their contempt for the establishment or to act out their identification with the underdog. Alert blacks consider this an exploitative and dehumanizing motive. It is. Quote, lots of white fellas want to go out with the black girl just so they can say what great liberals they are, close quote, commented one black co-ed. Quote, they don't care about the girl individually. All she has to do is be black, close quote. Some black men are equally sensitive about whites' reasons for wanting to date or marry them. A young black government employee in Washington, D.C., who had an extended affair with a newly divorced white public relations executive in New York, finally took the initiative in breaking off the relationship, although he admittedly was in love with the girl. Quote, you just go out with me just because I'm black, close quote, he accused her. Quote, you're trying to find out who you are since your marriage broke up and you're dating a black man as one of the items on your list of things to try. You don't give a damn about me as a person. When white sexual exploitation was social and economic power play, it was a white man's game. When, however, it consists of psychological one-upmanship, it is easy for the black to exploit the white than vice versa, for the simple reason that blacks are better versed in psychological warfare. It has been the blacks' business to understand whites' weaknesses, sexual hang-ups, and social guilt. Some black men make a game of exploiting white, bleeding heart liberal women, parlaying their feelings of guilt over racial injustice into sexual favors. Quote, if you tell the bitch that she's just like every other white bitch that gets niggas hanged, close quote, explains successful Don Juan and Cecil Brown's The Life and Loves of Mr. Jive-Ass Nigger, quote, she'll tell you she'll do anything to prove that you are wrong. Exploitation, as Brown's hero learns only too well, is a tricky game in which the winners may well become losers. A male who is dehumanized to a phallus, in other words, they just see you as a big black dick, is as much a victim as the female whose guilt he used as a trick to bed her. Stupid ass black men. The white woman who pursues black men because she believes the genital myth about the black male has no more respect for the object of her pursuit than the slaveholder did for his slave. Stupid ass black men. Brown provided a vivid portrait of the round-robin exploitation among black males and white females in the expatriate setting of Denmark. The black hero exploits the white American consul for money and sex. She, in turn, exploits his sexuality. He and the other blacks who think they're the winners as kept gigolos find themselves, in turn, drained and exploited. You're getting drained. The big black dick, that's your energy going to somebody else. It's not in your community. It doesn't build or make you, and you're not making a legacy. You're basically being a dick with the body as a life support system for masses' great-granddaughter. Your dumbass. This guilt often justifies the presence of a white woman in a black man's bed. Revenge can cover his reasons for wanting her there. It is not unusual for black males to use their sex as a weapon to wreak vengeance and express hate for white oppression. A black writer married to a white wife admitted to a friend that he secretly hated all whites, and every time he took his wife to bed, he was getting even for every racial insult he had endured in the past. Ironically, he found that his rage fueled his sex drive so that he was actually a more forceful, potent lover with this object of his lust hate than he was able to be with the black partner. This sort of emotional dividend is no doubt the reason that some lovers tend to pick a fight just before they make love. Baldwin, who has called this torturous type of coitus another word for sex, coitus, an act of murder in which you are also committing suicide, verbalizes emotions for us when his hero Rufus makes love to his white mistress in another country. Under his breath, he cursed the milk-white bitch and groaned and rode his weapon between her thighs. She began to cry. I told you, he moaned, that I'd give you something to cry about. And once he felt himself strangling or about to explode or die, a moan and a curse tore through him while he beat her with all the strength he had and felt the venom shoot straight out of him, although for 100 black, white babies. Revenge can turn up as motivation for interracial sex on either side of the racial fence. It can be a revenge against parents, against society, or even revenge against ex-wives and ex-husbands. One well-known, attractive, blonde ex-wife of a famous television producer in New York City, who was recently abandoned by her husband in favor of a younger woman, countered by taking a handsome but impecunious young black man for a lover and lavishing her considerable alimony money on him. Since she has set the pace, several other discarded middle-aged wives of famous and wealthy men in the entertainment world have joined the club, and all of them are supporting attractive young black lovers and not incidentally getting even with their husbands in the bargain by spending their husbands' money on their black lovers. Insecurity or low self-esteem can also be a powerful motive for the white partner, male or female. The woman who feels rejected by her parents, her white lovers, or simply inadequate in her peer relationships may turn to blacks among whom she can feel like a white queen. Sounds like Mrs. Julian Bond. Yeah, I'm calling the bitch out. I said it.
Indeed.
I said it. As one of them called it, a white male who has self-doubt, social, sexual, professional, may turn to a black woman because he believes that she will be less apt to despise him. Some well-to-do, social and educationally advantaged white women turn to black men as an expression of basic self-loathing or a desire for self-destruction. These are the gently reared girls and women one sees in the company of the most bitter, violent, and brutal black men. Malcolm X once warned black men that when they exploit some white women, they may in fact be doing them a favor. He noted that at the time he personally had a white mistress. He found it essential to treat her roughly periodically and give her a hard time in order to keep her happy and faithful. A friend of his was never able to hold a white woman because he was inclined to treat her much too well. So these white women need a black brute. And I see a lot of brothers be beating these white women's asses in the Midwest, in Pennsylvania, Virginia. Oh yeah, and then they get in trouble and some white cop comes and kills them or beats their ass. It's coming. The powerful psychodynamic factors that bring blacks and whites together can also serve to ruin their relationship. A 35-year-old white woman now living in Paris who was married for 6 years to a black painter and has a daughter by him discussed the motivations that led to their marriage. Quote, being a Jewish radical liberal, I guess I was trying to prove something, or probably most of all to my parents. His motivation in marrying me, partly revenge, I think, partly economic, but he was paranoid about race. We definitely broke up because of race. He left the ghetto young, was a communist, knew a lot of whites, but he looked down on soul music. He'd only listen to high-class jazz. He regarded low-class blacks with real repulsion. At the same time, I suspect he was also anti-Semitic. I'm convinced now that regardless of what white people say to themselves, there's also always more to a mixed marriage than simply falling in love. There's a question of class or proving something politically, and this is the basis. On this basis, these marriages are dangerous. Marriage is always difficult, but when you have this added factor, repressed at first but gradually surfacing, it tends to make both partners aggressive. Even when they are able personally to overcome their racial hang-ups, it is difficult for black and white to deal naturally and honestly with each other. The black is likely to take any criticism as a slur. Uh-oh. Can you imagine? An argument as racially motivated, and the white is reticent to make normal demands or express normal anger for fear of offending the black. A white welfare worker in Washington who had dated a black lawyer for several months described this problem. The worst thing about such relationships is how to handle it as you would any other. In other words, how do you extricate yourself if you lose interest? No matter how you say it, if you try to break it off, your reasons for are going to sound racial to your partner. Oh, 1 second. Are y'all hearing that?
Indeed.
I went with this man for a while. He was really a very nice guy, But then I realized it was over for me and wanted out. We didn't have all that much going for each other, and I was getting restless and bored. Yet I let it drift along for another month or so, trying to figure out a painless way to end it. I didn't want to hurt his feelings, and the fact that I did not want to end the affair had nothing to do with his being black. We just weren't all that well suited. I finally did break up with him, but it was a wretched experience for me because I felt so guilty about it. It really put me off to dating a black man again. Both partners both partners in an interracial relationship are apt to read racial overtones into each other's behavior. A beautiful black prostitute who received a marriage proposal from a young white client was convinced he was just trying to prove himself that he wasn't prejudiced. Both blacks and whites admit to the powerful stimulus of black on white or white on black, or, as the psychoanalyst described it, exotic as erotic. Malcolm X described a friend who always surreptitiously opened the window blinds before he made love to a white woman so that he could enjoy the play of the street light against their intertwined black-white bodies. It is a stimulus so powerful that it cannot be denied, nor can anyone consider himself entirely immune. I was once talking on a subject far afield from interracial sex with a dignified, gray-haired lady in her late 80s, the wife of a successful investment banker, when I asked casually, "Did you ever have any desire for a black man?" Quote, "How did you know?" she whispered, appalled. Then she proceeded to relate to a following incident. Quote, "It was on shipboard on one of those informal deck luncheons. I was sitting between my husband and this black man, and he had gotten some job with the State Department, and we had all gotten acquainted earlier. And we were served some soup, and I glared down, and his bare arm, he was wearing a short-sleeved sports shirt, caught my eyes. I was paralyzed. I couldn't look away. It looked so smooth, rich, and tempting, like chocolate velvet. I had this wild desire to lean down and press my lips against his arms. I was so unnerved by the experience, I simply got up and excused myself and left the table." Close quote. Another upper-class white woman involved in the arts told of having a brief affair with a well-known black singer. Asked if it in any way was different from her love affairs of her other partners had all been white, and she thought for the moment, then said, yes, it was different. Not because he was different as a man, but simply because he was a black man. I was more stimulated and excited because he was black. A black trumpet player explained, one of the reasons black musicians are so more commonly seen in the company of white women is wherever the orchestra plays, the first 4 rows are invariably filled with white broads, just waiting to take one of us black cats home. Some white women admit to having been first taken aback and subsequently taken by the sheer audacity of the aggressive black male, thus confirming the French adage that women love brave men but audacious men more. Black men aren't confused by the Victorian idea that women are divided up into good or bad, explained a white divorcee who has had 2 black lovers. They assume all women are sexually available and that every woman can be had one way or the other, so they're very direct in their approach. Whites tend to lump all blacks together instead of evaluating them individually according to their class and personality. Often have trouble differentiating between blacks they could relate to socially and those that they would avoid if they were white. Black middle-class, college-educated citizens are often regarded with the same mixture of fear and guilt as black bums, pushers, and drunks. Also, many liberal whites are so bent on proving that they're not prejudiced that the countenance advances, insults, or rude behavior from blacks that they would never put up with from whites. A black woman friend told me about being on a bus and she saw a nicely dressed white woman sitting next to a black dopehead. He was high on drugs, bobbing in and out of consciousness and his head and shoulder kept slipping down the woman's shoulder. She was miserable, reports my informant, and there were many empty seats on the bus. But she was afraid to move. If he had been a white bum, she would have gotten up right away. Finally, I leaned across to her and said, "Why don't you move?" She thanked me and got up and escaped to another seat. In all interracial relationships in the United States, there's a possibility of pathological motivations, conscious or unconscious, regulating one or both partners' behaviors simply because of the historic relationship between the races, which has inevitably influenced all of our lives. Thomas L. Brayboy, a New York psychiatrist who has treated a number of partners involved in interracial affairs, finds that the sex act between the two races may have little or nothing to do with tenderness, love, or even lust, but instead may become an arena for expressing negative feelings such as contempt, revenge, or irrational guilt. Brayboy cited 3 interracial liaisons that demonstrate various types of psychological motivation behind interracial mixing. The first was the middle-aged white woman who had deserted her husband and 3 children to live with the black man. During the course of the treatment, it turned out that her choice was, to a great extent, dictated by a hostile desire for revenge against her fanatically bigoted father. She had first entered into left-wing politics and protests, then eventually taken this black militant lover. In the second case, which was also that of a middle-aged white woman, the patient had been married to an impotent white husband for many years and was attracted to a black lover clearly because of his expected sexual prowess. The man she chose, who also suffered from rejection by an alcoholic father, took out his anger on his mistress, treating her sadistically and abusing her, which she accepted without protest as if she were literally responsible for more than 300 years of abuse to Negroes in this country and deserved the punishment. And the third case, a 15-year-old white girl, the child who had been programmed by her father, who had himself had secret black mistress, she was unconsciously acting out his vicarious desire. An outspoken, beautiful redhead copywriter in New York, who was living with her black lover in the 5th floor walk-up flat in a rundown area of the East Village before he was sent to prison on a drug charge, seemed to be using her interracial relationship to prove what a strong and competent woman she was. Obviously at war with the establishment, she considered her lover a victim of society and a brilliant, sensitive, misunderstood man to whom she was willing to dedicate her life, energy, and fidelity. Resolutely refusing to see any man while her lover was in prison, she was spending her time waiting for his release by planning the life that they would share when he was free. Although he was not yet divorced from his black wife, his white mistress was expecting to keep her job, to continue living with him and have a baby by him, and look forward to being able to raise the baby successfully without giving up her career. Some black males conditioned by society to consider their prime value is sexual. My big black dick is my only asset. You stupid ass black men. What about your soul, your mind? You moron. You believe the stereotype of your enemy? That's why you're in these stupid relationships. Prime value is sexual. Became successful hustlers of sex, making a career of women, black and white, and obtaining money from them. One handsome, well-dressed black male interviewed by a black reporter explained he really preferred black women, but consistently dated white ones since they had more money to give him. Quote, "I'd be with one of the sisters if I weren't so poor," he said apologetically. Sharply aware of their sexual value to whites, blacks also sometimes make a business of romancing white women in positions of authority for professional gain. A white woman whose federal job involved appropriating funds for special research grants found that her bevy of black admirers faded away when all the allotted funds had been granted. Some blacks have fantasies that they can whiten or purify themselves. Oh yes. Let me read that again. Damn, I gotta sit up. I'll move the fan now.
I know that's right.
I gotta read this shit again. Some blacks have fantasies that they can whiten. Shannon Sharp, whiten. Don Lemon, whiten. Lori Lightfoot, whiten. Tim Scott. They can whiten or purify themselves through intimate relations with whites. A point of view,
Cornell.
yes, Cornel West, a point of view which meets with angry disfavor among militant blacks today, but which was a generation ago a recurrent motive in interracial relationships. Gardner provides a pathological case history of a black woman who chose a partially impotent, weak white male for her husband so that she could fulfill her major fantasies to become white and to become the man in the family. Oh my God, a swirler pork chop. Damn. Some black males who do choose a white woman for a wife, according to a black informant, often go back and admire black women secretly. This woman spoke, especially of two well-known black men of her acquaintance, who are each married to a white woman who regularly attend all black gatherings alone, where they put their hands on the black woman. It makes us mad, she admitted. We feel like saying to them, let go, brother, you had your chance. I would even say brother. I would have just said you have your chance. It's an achievement with them, she added bitterly, saying, look, I've been accepted. In other words, white pussy has made me whole. Okay, and so all of you bastards that don't like me talk about white Jesus, I'm talking about white Jesus. Y'all in the white dick and white pussy makes you whole. Sad. Some sick-ass people, okay? Black women frequently complain that black men marry inferior white women. I'll read that again. Black women frequently complain that black men marry inferior white women when they would have ignored if they had been black. Psychiatrists refer to this as an unconscious type of exchange where the accomplished black man exchanges his accomplishment for his white partner's superior caste position. Shannon Sharp. Whites often point out that white wives of superior black males are apt to be mousy or drab, uglier than their husbands. Oh, man. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, I must speak in tongues. Yeah. Okay. I need a fan. I need a nurse from the church. You got a fan, Sister Mary?
Yes, I have a couple of personal ones.
Okay. So they're saying that the black men marry ugly white women. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, you brothers, y'all don't get.
Well, don't you be talking about those wholesome white women. Don't be talking about them now, Dr. Short.
Did you say wholesome or wholesome?
Wholesome, WHOLESOME.
And
Wholesome.
well,
A whole of some.
no, yes,
Mhm.
no, or a whole foursome, not wholesome. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so they are less attractive than the husbands. It means these brothers pick ugly white broads. I have seen this. Hideous white women. And like the little white woman that looked like the abominable snowman that wants us to believe Bill Cosby bothered her. No, I struck that one off. He ain't do that. Okay, Bill didn't do that one. A senior officer in the State Department told of having a young black civil servant under him overseas who frankly told his superior he had chosen a white wife because he assumed he'd have an easier time of it in the foreign service. Quote, she was a rather mousy thing, close quote, he recalled his boss, quote, and didn't contribute much, but then neither did a lot of the other wives, close quote. Her husband's theory of acceptance worked out so long as they were stationed in the Middle East, but he ran into difficulty when they were stationed in Europe. Quote, and he's terrified of coming to Washington, where they will have to serve for a year at some time, close quote. Either black males or white males may choose to cross the color line because of bitterness or disenchantment with their own women. White men often find black women stronger, more womanly than white women. Quote, a black woman knows more about life and love than giving instead of grabbing, explained a white man who had been married to 2 white women before taking a black wife. Being black, she has a deeper, more basic understanding of the meaning of life. She conceives life as essentially tragic and death inevitable. She recognizes the importance of seizing whatever joy is available to us each day. Black men, on the other hand, enjoy the white woman's submissiveness, psych, her dependence upon her husband. You mean clinging. My first wife was always nagging me, said the black man who had been married to a black woman before he married a white wife. She complained I wasn't a good enough provider, that I didn't have enough ambition. We'd end up at each other's throats. My wife now, she makes me real good. She makes me feel real good about myself. She's gentle and undemanding. With her, I feel like I'm 10 feet tall. This is okay. A recurrent theme that runs through the black men's discussion of why they have white wives or mistresses is that until very recently, at least their own black women so often put them down and were demanding, critical, or even rejected by them because they were too black. White women, in contrast, leaven their egos, are gentler to them, more reassuring, and make a man feel like a king. Okay, ladies, there might be some truth in that. We need to be nice to each other.
I have a big eye roll for that, but yeah.
That's what these people are saying. They make me feel like I'm a king. Okay. When the black actress Ethel Walters once reproached the prizefighter Jack Johnson for preferring white women, he told her, I could love colored women, but they never give me anything. Colored women won't play up to a man the way that white girls do. No matter how a colored woman feels towards her man, she won't spoil him or pamper him or build up his ego. She never tries to make him feel like he's somebody. I don't like the way that black men go to white women, remarked a young black co-ed thoughtfully, but I can understand why they do. White women don't challenge a man the way that black women do. They have more tricks for boosting a man's ego. Besides, black men have often not been able to function as men, and their women have had to take the lead over so many functions for them. So they probably feel freer with a white woman. They can act more like a man. One black man said in his encounter with the white woman was the first time in his life that anyone had made him feel proud of his blackness. Blacks and whites often come together following the breakup of a marriage or love affair with one of their own race. Just as black men, burned by the criticisms of black women, may find a white partner less critical and demanding, black women may also find a white husband more responsible, a better provider, and less apt to be physically violent than their former black husbands. Quote, when I was married to my first husband, recalled a black woman who's now married, on a second go-round with the white man, we fought all the time. Once he knocked me around so bad I ended up in the hospital for 3 days. My present husband, he's never laid a hand on me. He's gentle with me and thoughtful. He even helps me with the housework. Despite the impressive roster of apparently successful interracial marriages, only one study done in Iowa on comparable divorce rates found that interracial couples less apt to divorce than white or black couples. There are some observers of the black-white sex scene who maintain that such relationships can be nothing but exploitative and that they are invariably sick, with one partner battening on the other for neurotic, pathological, financial reasons. This is a view shared by Eldridge Cleaver, Leroy Jones, aka Ras Baraka's father, Amari Baraka, James Baldwin, who admits to copping out of the heterosexual scene entirely because of its sadistic components, by the black psychiatrists William Greer and Price Cobbs, and many of the other black novelists, and most of the black militants. Malcolm X could not visualize a successful mating of black and white, concluding that white women who do take black lovers and husbands are consumed either by insane love or insane lust. He, along with Jones and Cleaver, consider the black man who elects to sleep white is facing a personality crisis and a possible loss of identity. Cecil Brown, the novelist, shows us his hero renouncing his thankless role as a gigolo for white women and making up his mind to go back to Charlie country and fight the good fight, that is, black fight. A man can get love to anything, he explains, even the thing he detests. A black man can if he allows himself love a white woman, and that's a tragedy of life. Asked why it's such a tragedy, he replies, because I'm black and a man, and that's my identity. In Man-Child in the Promised Land, Claude Brown's hero considers the effect of a relationship upon a girl. If a Negro fellow really loved the girl and she was white, if he really loved her, I think he wouldn't want to marry her. Despite his general bitterness on racial matters after his encounters with racism in France, Frantz Fanon, who chose a white wife himself, viewed the white woman-black man relationship as romantic rather than destructive, in that he points out it is a giving, not a seizing. And the black sociologist Nathan Hare suggests that black men who are the fiercest and most fiery in their opposition to black-white sexual relationships are those men who are themselves victims of unhappy marriages or liaisons with white women. Many black women consider black leaders who marry white a menace, a destructive influence on black society. Joseph R. Washington, on the other hand, in Marriages in Black and White, sees the black power advocates with white women on their arms as illustrative of what democracy should be: freedom of choice. Calvin Hurton, a black sociologist who gave us this picture of interracial sex beset by constant anxiety and paranoia in his first study, Sex and Racism, provides in his coming work, Coming Together, a rather different picture, berating the black sexist who exploits white loves and the black women who belittle their men. Hurton suggests that peace between the warring black males and females may well lie in freedom of choice of sexual partners, which might include whites for either black men or women. Individual blacks who feel perhaps most secure about their identity believe that it is possible for a black to have a white partner with no loss of self. I think a person should marry whoever they want to marry. Oh, this is from Sammy Davis, really strong in his identity. Who is married to a white and is now a black wife, stated in an interview, I think that you can be committed to your people. It doesn't matter who you're married to. Were genuine feelings to enter the picture, this vengeful, rebellious, and exploitive motivations appear to diminish. Charles Everett described going through the period of hate and vengeance that characterizes many young black males' experience and seeing sexual exploitation of white women as an appropriate outlet for racial rage. I had it in mind that I hated all white people, he writes. I had thought, every white woman I find I'm going to take, and I'm going to do everything to her I can to her to make up for what they've done to us. His heart, however, overpowered by vengeance. If a woman loves you, he discovered, it is not the color of her skin. It is the feeling she has for you and the feelings you have for her. Black civil rights leader, a dear friend of mine, James Farmer, former executive director of the Congress of Racial Equality, who is himself married to a white wife, observed to one writer that a number of white girls who went south to work in the civil rights movement began dating black boys they met there as a social spin-off of the political stance they had taken. Later, when they had their choice of partners, they elected to remain with their black boyfriends because they had gotten to know and love them as individuals. It is very possible for whites to simply be attracted to blacks because of what appears to them as a richer, more rewarding lifestyle. The first time I traveled from northern urban society into southern black life in Mississippi nearly 20 years ago, I recall the impact of the warmth of the black community in which I found myself made the life I had left behind seem cold and colorless in comparison. In contrast to a superficial, money-centered society where communication consisted largely of discussion of fashions, private schools, and grass seed, the behavior and concerns of the black community seemed immensely warm, direct, and vital. I experienced a curious sensation of going home, going back to a real human being that lay submerged beneath the layers of civilized and sophisticated behavior. As Malcolm X once observed, it isn't difficult for whites exposed for the first time to black life to become mesmerized by its vitality. Blacks seem to live out of their guts without being ashamed or self-conscious about their emotions. Albert Murray, the black writer, found whites attracted to blacks because they sound so good, feel so warm, cuss better, dress so jivey, look so foxy. Whites are drawn to black vitality, style, the prancing walk, the shrewd eyes, and overall sensuality that is often so lacking among whites. A black college girl said that she found young whites imitating blacks because they lack creativity in their own culture, in clothes and in speech. They like the way we make things out of nothing, working with simple materials like an old tire or wooden box or milk crate or broken furniture picked off the street. They like the original ways that we have to stretch food and make it taste like something. Blacks invented do-it-yourself because they had to make something out of nothing, added her mother. Like those pretty quilts made from scraps, which are now fashionable now. And what you think bouillon is but dehydrated pot liquor. Did you ever you ever see a ghetto kid with a piece of cardboard he found in the street? He can play with it every day for the week, making something out of it different each day. A 19-year-old black male student agreed with the two women. Young whites are copying the black style now because they're searching for an identity. They don't like what they came out of, and they are trying to show black people that they are on their side by copying their way of dress, their jargon, their music. Discussing white belief that all blacks have rhythm, a cliche that some blacks find denigrating, the New York City Ballet's great choreographer Arthur Mitchell observed that although blacks are by no means born with innate rhythm, they do respond more directly physically and emotionally to music than whites. They have easier access to their emotions, and they usually are more familiar with music, since music is a common ingredient in most black homes. Contrasted to the whites they know, whites often find blacks more humanistic in their sense of values, with a relative indifference to material possessions and a deeper capacity for spiritual and religious experience. American tobacco heiress Doris Duke was recently discovered by the white press singing in a choir at a black church near her Somerville, New Jersey estate. She apparently had been quietly but actively involved as a member of the church for at least a year before the press ferreted her out. One of the most obviously devoted of the mixed couples interviewed during the preparation of this book was a childless, middle-aged pair who had originally met in church, where the man, a Mississippi-born gospel singer, appeared before a Middle Western white congregation that included his future wife. They were married at the same church. During the 20 happy years that have followed, they have both kept deeply involved in church work. They both consider their marriage an unqualified success, a case having found a life partner with whom they could share the most meaningful part of their lives. Professional observers of mixed marriages, who usually see the only partner who they're sufficiently distressed to seek psychiatric consultation, are worried of the possible neurotic motivations in crossing the color line. But even they do not rule out the possibility of successful liaisons. Although Dr. Brayboy sees black-white relationships in this country as inevitably influenced by the historical context of black-white problems, he does believe that the acceptance of the basic humanity of all can change the nature of interracial relationships so that they can be based, as other intimate relationships, more on reality factors and less on neurotic ones. In his Dynamics of Mixed Marriages, the psychologist Abraham Franzblau concludes cautiously that not all mixed marriages are psychologically suspect. Sociologist and psychoanalyst Dr. Ernest van der Haag, who is now teaching at New York University, where he has seen many partners of interracial marriages and analysis, concluded that the psychological difficulties apparent in such matches tend to be much more social in origin than genetic. If the motive for marrying a person of another race is healthy, a general personal feeling for that person, I don't see any good reason why the marriage shouldn't work out. During a public lecture on race, when a woman in the audience asked Margaret Mead the inevitable racial sexual question, "Would you want your daughter to marry one?" Dr. Mead answered yes. If she respects him and he respects her, I don't think any marriage is good unless both partners respect each other. Even black psychiatric writers Greer and Cobbs, who paint a rather dire picture of the prospect of black-white marriages in the United States, point to those that have succeeded outside of this country and concluded that the love relationship given half a chance by society can flourish between people of different origins. As a veteran of a 15-year interracial marriage aptly expressed it, the strongest survive. It is time to take a look at some of the brave, formidable people, black and white, who have made such a choice and see what has happened to them. How do y'all like that?
Love it.
Pretty good.
This is one of these books. I ran across it as I'm organizing this library here, and I said, "Oh, I got to read some of this." These people wonder. I love books. God, I love books. Yeah, y'all need to donate. I got to get some more. I got a couple of these really good ones. I love this. And let me see. What time is it? It's 12. Y'all want me to stop? Because this is a really short chapter. These chapters are very short. You know what? There's some good ones.
Let's do a few of those chapters, and then
Well, I'll do.
we can end the space.
Okay, we will. I'm going to read chapter 14 and chapter 15, and then I'm going to stop. And we're going to end it. By the way, this is the Angry Black Men's Book Club. Y'all know y'all can send, retweet the space, share the room, tell people about it. Come on, y'all. I only wanted 5,000 followers. I didn't want 50. And I just have a little over 3,000. I would love to have 5. That's all I want. I don't need that much. I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy. I don't have to have.
We love you, Dr. Short. We love you. Okay.
So let's.
Indeed.
So let's. This is chapter. Let me do one thing. Give me exactly 2 seconds, because you know what? This old book has dust coming off. Give me exactly. I want 2 minutes. I'll be right back. But something's irritating my throat. I don't want to gag. Give me exactly 1 second. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. And take a sip of water too, doctor.
Yeah, I am. 1 second.
Mm-hmm. The book that he was just reading from is amazing that it was written over 50 plus years ago, and it's truly touches upon the psychological disorders and behaviors of the consequences of interracial dating, and some of the mindsets that went along with that, and some of the scenarios that went along with that, and very interesting because it does reflect very much of what's going on today. Of course, you would make a few changes here and there because in order to fit current times, but it's pretty relevant because it still does touch upon many of those taboos and many of those issues and the psychological mindset into a bed winch or into a bed bug mindset that uses to go over that, to cross that line to interracial dating and sexual access. So that was just very interesting to hear. And from the perspective of a white woman who wrote the book, but yet she was having these interviews with a lot of black young men and women, as well as some white men and women. So you had both aspects of both sides of the fence, and many of those scenarios or those situations ring true today. What do you think about that, Sister Nikki? Oh,
I agree 100%. I'm so sorry. I'm modding for Tariq right now, and
oh, that's
so I
fine.
apologize.
So, are you ready, Doctor? I can continue to. Okay. Well, Doc is still doing what he needs to do.
And I think we need to examine the problems that interracial dating has
Indeed.
caused. And,
I agree.
And how it puts us at a security risk when so many people, and it could be a white man with a black woman, but right now it seems like we're talking about black men with white women. So we'll focus on that right now. We can always do a space on bed winching.
Indeed, we're on bed bucking right now.
There's been times where you see some black men, and you would have to know me and know my history to know that I'm not anti-black male. I'm not. So this is not an attack on black men. So before you go clipping a comment from me, just understand and study things I've posted. But I do feel like some of the black men who have
we love our black men. We just don't love the Simps and the
and Swirlers. Nobody likes them. They don't like themselves.
They're open enemies. They've been compromised.
Yeah, they want to be compromised. They bitches. I said it.
Yeah, they put us at a security risk, though.
You know,
yes, they do.
You know what happened?
Security risk. We lose so much because of it. We lose
That's
our
how the
culture.
Hawaiians
We lose our
lost.
music.
The Hawaiians lost Hawaii because these people have to be.
We lose our generational wealth because of the shit.
We have to be laid up with somebody else. And see, white folk be focusing in on their money. God bless them. They be on their money. And these Negroes are looking for love in all the wrong races, is my expression. Yes, and I'm taking some more drugs. This is ashwagandha and maca. You know, I'm going to get, yes.
Ooh.
I need some more performance-enhancing drugs. Your athletes do it. Your artists do it. I'm going to take some shit, too. So y'all could just wait. I'm going to get high in front of you. I don't care.
But indeed, we do need to discuss how dangerous it is and the fact that we lose so much culturally, economically, spiritually. It pulls away and sucks away from the lineage because these people, as Dr. Short just stated, that they pretty much want to be compromised because they're broken
They're psycho.
people.
And see, here's the thing. Forgive me for interrupting you. This has happened in all the countries after two things happened. In the Caribbean, where, with the exception of Cuba and Puerto Rico, where the islands were overwhelmingly black, they did everything they could to starve out as many black folks to force them to leave. In Puerto Rico and in Cuba, the Spanish poured in people to bleach out black people. They did this in Brazil as well. They did this throughout South America to try to get rid of black populations through all this mixing on purpose. It's called embranchimento or blanchiment. It's bleaching. It is erasing, using dick and pussy to get rid of black people. And so a Swirler is deliberately participating in an extermination project. Even if you're having fun busting a nut or you're munching some stud that you read poetry with, the feminist or pork chop feminist, you're helping to exterminate your people.
Ethnocide,
Okay,
indeed.
there's no excuse for it. And no, I didn't say folk couldn't marry somebody else. It's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about this dumbass behavior. And the same way you go to certain places and you see almost every couple is a mixed one. I've even seen this in England. Do you know over 90% of the men in England, black, marry white? I mean, it's rare that you see a black couple. And unless they came from Africa someplace with someone. Typically, typically not. Because they're not even trying to talk to someone just like them. And this is what they want here. This is what they want here. And it would be one thing if everything was just voluntary and everything was just choice, right? And we were free. But once you realize people are deliberately shaping and doing things to smash, to destroy the cohesion of a people through blending them so much until, I mean, nobody knows who they are anymore. This is an agenda. When you look on TV and you see all these goddamn mixed couples in commercials, there's no way people are that damn happy.
Indeed.
All the segregation that still exists in American society. 90% of white people in America don't have any intimate black friends or associates. That's the vast majority. They don't deal with, don't want to. I'm not even mad about that. So why does TV show something different? Why is MTV and why are young black folks so stupid? Think everything is just hunky dory until a cop beats your ass or kill you. Anyway, I'm in chapter 14, and this is from Beth Day's Sexual Relations Between Blacks and Whites. This is a nice chapter. This chapter is, "It's the white partner who has to learn." And the quote comes from Julius Lester. "It is exceedingly difficult to trust any white person, even a white person one might love." Although successfully married couples, mixed couples, and even some of those who have been divorced say that racism did not play a major part in their marital adjustment or the lack of it, the burden is upon the white partner to make the major adjustment simply because he has had the longest road to travel and closing the psychological and cultural gap between them. Quote, "Being a white American," close quote, explained Jake, a jazz guitarist married to a black United Nations secretary. Quote, "One simply has a lot of latent racism, whether you recognize it as such or not. I considered myself a liberal. I had lots of black friends before I met my wife. Yet, I'm sure I saw things and the same stereotypes. You can't avoid it. And you sometimes don't even recognize it until it's pointed out to you." Anna, the editor's wife, provided one example. "Once my husband was chiding me for being much too easygoing. 'Why do you let people walk all over you?' he asked. And I called him a racist. He was horrified. He really didn't understand. Yet lazy and shiftless, easygoing, is just another one of those stereotypes about blacks that we hear and hate. Latent racism may also erupt unexpectedly on either side during an ordinary marital disagreement. When we fight," admitted one white husband, "she doesn't call me a dirty bastard. She calls me whitey or a dirty white. I don't think it hurts anything. We're still lovers. It's no worse than white couples who call each other dumb wop or an Irish bum. Mixed couples who have weathered early storms, consider themselves well-adjusted, often claim that they have forgotten the color difference between them. The French photographer Henri said that the only time it occurs to him that his wife is black is when he's been away on a long trip and returns home and sees his wife standing in a crowd waiting at the Paris airport. Rosemary said that when she and Johnny have attended a mixed party and are discussing the other guests on the way home, it is not unusual for him to comment about the man they had met. He's pretty nice for a whitey, forgetting for the moment that she is white too. One of the major barriers between blacks and whites today is that whites read about the black problem, sympathize with the plight of blacks, yet with no real knowledge or understanding of what black life is actually about. As Nikki Giovanni makes poignantly clear in her most celebrated poem, Nicarosa, describing her life in a white socialized terms, then concluding, and all the while I was quite happy. Sociological tags such as deprivation, poverty, matriarchy tell nothing of the quality of individual life. Blacks, in order to survive, have had to be able to extract small pleasures from different means that whites wouldn't understand. All they see is that blacks lack material accomplishments. They have low income. Their homes are rat infested, explained a Harlem-born secretary. It isn't that blacks are happy or satisfied. They're not. But you can spend your entire life focusing on dissatisfaction. You do make certain gains, and that's what keeps blacks going. Robert Coles, a psychiatrist, found in his extensive field trips interviewing impoverished children that some of the stereotypes commonly held by whites about blacks relate also to the white poor. In talks with employers of poor blacks and whites, Coles found that they commonly regarded all their workers as animals or children, but never as individual human beings with the full range of personality, and they had no concept of the variety of or texture of their lives. Whites think in stereotypes, like black and poor, without any idea of what black life is like, explained a lower class black working mother. I may not live in I may not have the price of a Broadway musical, but I can get the record and the book and enjoy it in my own living room. Same thing about clothes or cars. A white woman sees a black woman who she knows makes less than she does wearing a fur coat, and she thinks, what, that improvident spendthrift. Well, that black woman can buy a coat on time with money that the white woman spends things on the black woman can't have or doesn't want. Winter vacations, expensive restaurants, theater, taxicabs, plays, expensive groceries. While the white woman is paying $2 a pound for steak, the black woman is feeding her family kidney beans, oxtails, cheaper lettuce, less meat. The food is just as nourishing, and it's often better tasting because she knows how to cook and season and make it good. Deprived of many luxuries that whites purchase, blacks, as John Johnson's Ebony proved to advertisers, are nonetheless impressive customers of quality goods. Hi-fi systems, records, clothes, cars. Suspicious of shoddy merchandise that white merchants traditionally try to force on them, they tend to put their faith in dollars and top-grade merchandise and brand names. Poor people can't afford cheap things. They wear them out too fast. Black homes where black wage earners can finally escape the white world at the end of the workday often contain ingredients for the good life. Good food, good music, good company. We can get high even without even booze, as one matron good-natured said one matron good-naturedly. Damn, that's fucked up phrasing. Forgive me, sometimes the way people phrase shit is difficult. Who would say it like that? All you need is a pot of coffee, a cake, and some friends. I just think blacks know how to have more fun than whites. So the young white southern divorcee who lives in the integrated area dates black men and sees black families socially. I had a friend over here from Paris this year and took him around all over the country. The very best evening we had was with black friends of mine.
Doctor, if I may interrupt right quick, it sounds like you're speaking slightly through a fan or a little computer.
I'm not speaking through a fan, although I have fans on, but the fan you shouldn't hear because it's nowhere near.
Now that's better. Now your voice is clear.
Well, let me just move this over, okay? So
I can hear him, but maybe it's, I don't know.
No, I can hear him just fine, but his voice was sounding like he was speaking through the fan.
Okay.
Is your voice
It's clear now.
The fan?
Continue.
No, the fan is nowhere near my voice. Often,
If anyone would like to support any of Dr. Short's broadcasts, YouTube, Twitter, anywhere, please look at the Jumbotron. You see his Cash App is DrRandyShort. We love him to pieces.
Hmm. Oh
And I
man,
support him. I'm on his side. I'm on his side 100%, y'all.
I feel so white. Thank you. That's Nikki the God and Sister Miriam helping me get through this. Often isolated by distance or racial barriers from traditional forms of white entertainment, blacks are apt to have their own entertainment at home. And it is a rare black home that does not contain some form of music and does not see some spontaneous, improvised dancing. Whites are often puzzled to encounter hostility when they express a desire to dance with a black partner, yet for many blacks, the all blacks got rhythm cliche is often as offensive as super sex. I was actually delighted to confess the black mother of an interracial child when I got a report from the teacher that our son Michael has no sense of rhythm at all. It was silly of me, I suppose, but one does get annoyed with all the old cliches. Whites are also apt to offend blacks when they attempt to show how in they are with black culture by talking of the blues or jazz. Why not classical ballet? Arthur Mitchell, the first and only black soloist with the New York City Ballet Company, quits his career as a dancer at its peak to found the Harlem Dance Theater in 1969 to prove that blacks could dance and enjoy ballet as well as ethnic or jazz dances. Little black kids from the slums love ballet. It is often the first order of beauty to come into their lives. Mitchell points out that some whites mistake natural rhythm is the fact that many blacks have freer access to their emotions and may be more familiar with music as a component of their daily lives. Blacks are apt to be less inhibited and self-conscious than whites, and one of the reasons is that whites so frequently do envy blacks on the dance floor is that instead of following precise stylized patterns that they have learned, they do whatever the music moves them to do without embarrassment. Blacks are also less apt to be embarrassed by being overheard in public, and the decibel count is apt to be higher than with more inhibited whites who are taught to curb their laughter and lower their voices. One of the reasons that black men are exciting, commented a white college girl, is that they have gut reactions. If they laugh, they make a big boisterous noise. If they're happy, they smile. If they are sad, they cry. Although individual blacks differ enormously, there's an African cultural tendency to grasp the world through the senses rather than the European method of objective analysis based on reason. Senghor called it the African apprehension of reality, whereas European is taught and trained to use his objective intelligence to stay at a distance and observe the object and analyze it rationally. The African reacts to the object with the senses according to the stimulus he receives. He is intuitive, instinctive, and sensual. He participates and becomes a part while the European watches and decides whether the object is useful. As participant, the African reaction is less egocentric than the European observation. Americans with partial African heritage, in short, are more willing to give themselves to what moves them. It is characteristics, perhaps, that attracts many young whites who are turning their backs on the uses that their society makes of nature and things. They want to refresh themselves by tuning in on whatever assaults the senses. They want to feel and be free. Occasionally, culture finds a reverse migrant, as in the case of the black teenager from the middle-class background who was dating a white girl from New York and said he preferred white girls because they related to the hippie lifestyle that he espoused. Most black girls I know dig Cadillacs, alligator shoes, and silk pants. Yet when whites attempt to embrace the black lifestyle, they may court trouble. Can't they even invent their own language, complain blacks tired of whites' exuberant right on? Can't they write their own music? Did they have to get a black man, Chubby Checker, to show them how to shake their ass? Can't we have anything that they don't steal from us? A classic black joke concerns a black woman sitting on the subway, and a well-meaning white leans over and says, "There's a cockroach on your coat. Hold still and I'll brush it off for you." The black woman turns indignantly and says, "You leave it alone. It's mine. I'm going to keep it." Some blacks are annoyed at the alacrity with which whites today pick up and use black language. 10 years ago, the language used in the ghetto stayed there for at least 2 or 3 years before it found its way into society as a whole, said a Harlem resident who works in the Midtown New York advertising office. And then it was primarily into jazz circles. Today, it's only a matter of months before it gets into the mainstream and you hear everyone using it. Kids, men, women. I've gotten over resenting whites who adopt the black lifestyle, but sometimes when I hear white sisters yelling "right on" and clenching their fists in the black liberation salute, it makes me want to vomit. There's often cultural communication barrier between blacks and whites. Many whites consider blacks relatively inarticulate. Part of that impression is because in the slavery period, and to some extent, and still to some extent in the South, blacks deliberately avoided communicating what they were thinking or feeling to whites by feigning dumbness or inarticulateness. They also developed ways of speaking or singing that told the story to each other but was designed to deceive white ears. Steal away to Jesus said means let's split. The phrase Hagar's children refers to hapless black people. Another more relevant reason for the breakdown in communication today is that black Americans and white Americans may be very well speaking a different language. Black English, as educators are only now just discovering, differs systematically from standard English. Black poets and playwrights such as June Jordan and J.E. Franklin use both, choosing black English for passages of emotional power. Historically, trade language that was used between white sailors and Africans along the coast of West Africa and the early slave trade days of the 17th century. It is a lean, expressive language that does not bother with the possessives, superfluous pronouns, and unnecessary verbs. A direct tense, non-egocentric form of communication that is designed to convey feelings and experiences. Blacks have several stylized patterns of verbal communication that are unfamiliar to whites. Rapping is a more performance than an exchange of information. It is designed primarily to show off the personality, originality, and style of the individual speaker. Like the white's line, it is usually aimed at sexual conquest. Shucking and jiving are verbal manipulations of the listener used to convey false information or to deceive the listener. Blacks also tend to be more adept at nonverbal communication than white people are. The poet Metrolink once observed that there's no real communication in words. Blacks often operate on this principle, judging others by the way that they give gestures, expression, touch, and the quality of their laughter rather than the words they speak. As psychotherapists well know, such expressions and behaviors are far better clue to a person's emotions than the words he utters, which may be designed purely to deceive or divert attention from what the person is feeling. During slavery, blacks developed a number of ways of nonverbal communication designed to give warning or signify danger, including eye signals, coughs, and laughs. Every time Miss Mag, a numbers lady, come out on her porch and laughed a certain way, the whole block knew the cops were coming, recalled a resident of Birmingham. Eye signals are exchanged as a stranger passes on a hostile street. Coughs can signal either warning or disbelief. When someone's really jiving, I'll cough once to show I know it's just jive, explained the black woman. Then a friend of mine across the room listening to the same story will cough twice. That means she's onto it too, agreeing with me that it's bullshit. Black people may use gestures or expression that are misunderstood or unfamiliar to whites, eye-rolling rather than staring thoughtfully into space, looking down, tongue-clicking, and a hand over the mouth when laughing are patterns of behavior foreign to white culture. Black school children are often misunderstood by white teachers when they look down as a sign of respect, get accused of inattention or sulkiness. Look at me when I'm talking to you. When they click their tongue, tis tis, they're assuming to be saying, I'm sorry about that, although they are in fact angry. Edward T. Hall found that blacks often suffer in the job interviews because the signs reflecting the strength of the Negro's desire may go undetected by white interviewers who are looking for strong motivation. Nose wrinkling and head scratching also indicate doubt and anger when whites play with words to show off superior educational vocabulary before a black. The black, who may not be able to compete with the similar vocabulary through a lack of classroom exposure, may get even with the white through facial grimaces, react to the white's words by exaggerated expressions of disbelief, cynicism, or disapproval or doubt. Confronted with these silent grimaces, the white eventually becomes uncomfortable. What do you mean? He asks uneasily. Me, the black asks innocently. I didn't say nothing. Blacks during the slave days became adept in manipulating whites rather than trusting them to do voluntarily what they needed or wanted. In a study entitled The Negro Conceptions of White People, made by Tillman Cothran and reprinted by the American Journal of Sociology in 1951, the majority of blacks of all classes who were polled considered whites deceitful, dishonest, and easily fooled by flattery. Alvin Toussaint, the psychiatrist, points out that whites still exercise undue psychological control over our minds. He suggested if a white person should walk into a room with 200 blacks present, it would change the entire character of the group. Some blacks would feel intimidated. Some might try to win whites' approval. There would also be others so angry that they would not be able to communicate at all. There is no reason for a white and black company to assume that all blacks will trust him. Jake, the jazz guitarist, pointed out, we are both under pressure, but it's up to me as the white to prove myself. As a black is bound to be suspicious of a white, I've discovered that that kind of hostility is not really difficult to break down. It takes a little time, a little effort, a smile to clear the air. I know that some mixed couples are super sensitive to this, very uptight, but I consider this kind of pressure generally superficial, certainly not dangerous. My wife and I don't get any bad vibes. We are super sensitive. We could crack up. There are many blacks who will never tell white people what they really think or exchange confidence with them, even when they're sleeping with them. They cannot believe a white person is trustworthy and remain guarded even in an intimate relationship. Several white women complained about this in their relationship with black lovers. It wasn't that he was rough or cruel, said one. It's just that he refused, even our most intimate moments, to confide in me or let me know what he was feeling. This existential view of sex, so characteristic of the American male, that the sexual act is an affirmation of his existence, is especially true for blacks, who have more cause to doubt their existence and their availability to affect others. Goaded by social and professional frustrations, lack of recognition, and self-doubt, the sexual act may be the one clear affirmation of the black man's existence. Ooh, this is why the big black dick is so important. May be the one clear affirmation of the black man's existence. It is reassuring, self-proving. In a number of cases of record of psychiatric black male patients, the one area in which these men felt secure, despite other ills, was in their sexual performance. I got a big black dick. The problem for the female partner in the context is that she may not be important as an individual. Once the required self-assurance has been affirmed for the male, he may have no further need of his partner until his libido builds again. There is a scene in the movie Shaft in which the white female partner is a transient love affair, summarily is dismissed the next morning so the handsome black hero can get on with his business. In effect, kicked out of bed, the girl pauses for a moment in the doorway and says plaintively, "You were great in the sack, but you were shitty afterwards." Shaft, the black James Bond, was behaving in love 'em and dump 'em Bond tradition, in which women are expendable sexual objects, but he was also behaving in a way that some white lovers found disillusioning. I thought we were close as human beings, said a middle-aged white woman of her experience with a black friend who had briefly been her lover. But in bed, I thought I could have been anybody. He was acting out something for himself which he did not include me at all. It wasn't that he was callous or cruel. He was just well done. I really pity white women who take black lovers, said the black wife of a white husband. My husband is so much kinder and so much more considerate than any black man I ever knew. It was really a shock to me. My parents have a good marriage, but I had never seen such constant attention and affection between them like Mike showers on me. It actually took something getting used to. In the Kaufman study, blacks of all classes subscribed to the view that white men were more considerate of their white women than black men are of black women. Likewise, white women have often found black lovers more tender and affectionate than white males. White women who find black men more tender may, in fact, be reacting to the superior tactile competence in lovemaking. One of the reasons is put forth the English woman's wholesale acceptance of black GIs as lovers during World War II is that, in comparison to Englishmen who are so notoriously diffident about touch communication, black lovers use their sensual skills to heighten the sexual experience. A white American woman who numbered among her lovers both Englishmen and a black American said there was no comparison in their ability as lovers. I couldn't believe my English lover, such a charming and sensitive voice and manners. But once we hit the sack, absolutely no foreplay. He didn't believe in caresses or fondling or any love making that is so important to a woman. My black lover, on the other hand, spent what seemed like hours building me up with the sympathy of caresses. He really turned me on. Y'all liking this? Much of the white English and American males' failure in this area, according to anthropologist Ashley Montague, in a recent study of human touching, is cultural. There are, or have been, two clear forces mitigating against the white male's development of tactile expertise. First and foremost is that the white cultural area that has obtained until very recently that tenderness, sensitivity, and touching were all unmanly and feminine. Men were not to be caught dead gently caressing babies or women. Besides, they had virtue of our pediatric misinformation that dictated infant care a generation ago, little experience in how to touch gently, even if they had the inclination. The most mature white men in the country today were babies in an era when obstetricians managed their mothers' pregnancies, and the vogue was not to breastfeed or fondle the baby. Feed him by the clock, not by the cry. Don't pick him up and cuddle him. Babies who are not touched and soothed and fondled and caressed by their mothers do not in turn learn how to fondle, stroke, or caress other human beings. They are not sensitized to the pleasures of being touched, nor experience in the way in which one human being can touch another.
Oh, Dr. Short.
That explains it. That explains it.
That's right, Dr. Short. Peace.
I'm going to keep reading, can I? Keep
I'm
going?
sorry.
No, that's okay.
You are cooking.
I'm just sharing. This is a great book. They don't like you. They don't want you. It's a white woman that's telling the truth. White people have jacked up homes. Oh, okay. So they don't know how to touch
they
people.
Some sick motherfuckers.
So
they all sick.
They're cold. Much of Americans' women, I should say white American women's frigidity, according to Dr. Montague, can be traced to the lack of touching and love. The idea certainly makes sense in light of the fact that most women need to be worked up to enjoy sex, or even to find it comfortable. A Southern black woman recalled hearing as a child in a little town in Alabama the adults discussing a young white couple. The girl had cried all the time since the marriage. The judgment among the black woman was that she had no training for sex, and her husband had come at her like a bull, and had had intercourse without first rousing and stimulating her that she could enjoy it. The experience was traumatic. The girl froze up and could not respond, and the young husband had a frigid wife on his hands. His answers to that, of course, was to come to the black woman for illicit sex. Blacks were never discouraged from touching either by Puritanism or high-priced medical shamans. Touch communication is highly developed in black families, often a clasp of a shoulder, a grip of an arm, or an embrace substitutes entirely for words. Hugging, kissing, hitting, and slapping are common ways of emotional communication. Margaret Mead once noticed that one can sit across the room from a black person and talk eloquently for hours and never get any place. A touch is needed for real communication. Blacks always did fondle their babies and anybody else's babies lucky enough to be turned over to them for their care. Nor was it considered shameful for grown men to fondle babies or women. Black culture does not require people to suppress their emotions. It is not considered unmanly or feminine for a man to weep or to be tender. He may be freer about touching than his white counterpart. Quote, Americans never touch each other, close quote, complained a Norwegian divorcee living in the country. If I touch a woman, she thinks I'm a lesbian. If I touch a man, he assumes I want to go to bed with him. You don't have any touching that means friendship, trust, or affection. A rash of recent books and magazine articles on touch, as well as encounter groups, show that white culture is busy trying to discover how to re-educate their senses of facility, which most blacks, except for the few of the most assiduously white middle class, have never lost. Isn't it ironic, commented a shy, inhibited white male, that whites are spending $20 an hour in sensitivity training sessions, trying to learn how to do what blacks do naturally? Black males are not culturally inhibited from the use of some expressions that have been characterized as feminine or sissy in the white world. Black males can refer to one another as baby without jeopardizing their manhood. They can call each other pretty or beautiful and are free to dress in feathers or finery or wear flashy jewelry without their virility being suspect. A characteristic that attracts some whites to blacks to the point of emulation and repels others is the black male's tendency to be flamboyant dressing, which is yet another way in which he can bolster his socially damaged self-esteem. In the urban North, style is something that the individual black can create freely, provided only if he has the cash to follow his taste. This is not yet true in parts of the South, where the dressy nigger may still provoke suspicion and hostility. And even in the North, where business clothes and freer style hippie dress on blacks are seen as unremarked by most whites, a middle-class black said that when he puts on riding clothes, Bermuda shorts, or golf clothes, he attracts hostile glances. Whites apparently are still not comfortable saying blacks were symbols of white affluence. Moreover, white women seem to find it comforting to see black women outfitted in uniforms as nurses or maids or waitresses, although they're apt to be catty and critical of black women other than known entertainers who appear in cocktail dresses or evening clothes. White partners with middle-class backgrounds are apt to run up against conflicting attitudes regarding money. Blacks are less interested in the acquisition of possessions, less inclined towards frugality and savings than whites, primarily because they are more accustomed to being poor and having little to protect. If they have money, they're free about spending it or giving it away. A white middle-class husband complained that his black wife was forever buying every new gadget that comes on the market for her kitchen and house. A white Jewish woman who was divorced from her black husband felt that attitudes towards money had played a hand in the separation. Unless you're dealing with someone from the black bourgeoisie, blacks do have a different attitude about money. I got the impression that my husband spent money as though he was living from one day to the next, as opposed to my economical Jewish upbringing. A white Frenchman married an American black wife admitted that one of his major problems of marital adjustment centered on money. My wife is so generous, she can't pass a beggar on the street without giving him money. Not just the price of a cup of coffee either, but enough for a good meal or maybe lodging for the night. That was hard for me with my traditional bourgeois upbringing to understand, but it is her nature and I have learned to love her for it. She was a very spontaneous person, which is one of the wonderful things about her. She is full of surprises. A white woman professional who had eventually split up with her black lover said that one of the reasons was his lack of ambition, his indifference to money. I've worked hard all my life, but he didn't care whether he worked or not. He had some business contacts while I knew him, but he never could figure out what he did for a living. If he had money in his pocket, whether he had a job or not, it didn't seem to matter to him. I didn't stop seeing him because he was black. He was just too irresponsible, too immature for me. Blacks are inclined to assume that all whites have money or can get it easily. Anna's father opposed her marriage to a white man, but apparently consoled himself on the level, well, at least he will always have plenty of money to support her. Then the magazine for which Bill worked folded, and he was unable to find a job for many months. The family was in bad financial straits, and the black father-in-law simply couldn't understand it. All white men have money. All white men can get good jobs. I used to think that white folks never had problems, admitted the southern-born black domestic. But after I came to New York, I started working in their homes. I saw how they lived. I realized I was wrong. The whites I know all got problems too. Blacks are just poor. White wives may discover that black husbands also hold different attitudes concerning husband-wife roles during marriage and about marriage itself from white men. Black men are accustomed to their wives' work. In one marriage that eventually dissolved, the principal point of dissension was that the husband, who was a student, fully expected his young wife to go back to work after she had her baby. From her cultural viewpoint, it was all right for a wife to work when she had no children, but once she had a baby, she thought she could stay home and take care of it. White husbands may find the black attitude towards work a bonus. My wife's supporting the family right now, so I can complete my classical training, said Jake. I'm so lucky to have a wife like that. Sometimes I even feel guilty when I realize how some young black militant could use a wonderful wife like Jean, but then I can use her too. I've never known another woman who can compare in quality with her. At least I have the sense enough to know what I've got. Because the majority of black women do work and are out of the house much of the time, the black view of marriage is also apt to be more independent or open than the closed marriage that whites are accustomed to. A white wife of a black artist was distressed when he took field trips to the South for material for as long as 2 or 3 months and refused to let her accompany him. Black husbands may see no harm in going out socially without their wives, especially if they wanted to go to all black gatherings or parties. Several black men with white wives and mistresses were reported to be seen at all black gatherings in the company of black women. The white partner may find that the black spouse has a different attitude towards gambling. Games of chance have always had a special significance in black life, primarily for the simple reason the majority of blacks are poor, and betting represents one possibility of escape from poverty. The numbers game has and probably always will have significance in black life. A nickel, even a penny, can buy hope. Nor is this a form of gambling the only man's game. Black housewife is just as likely to place a daily or weekly bet with her own runner as her husband or boyfriend. The dream of release from humiliating poverty is too potent to be ignored. Recently, when New York launched an off-track betting, there's a speculation on the part of whites that off-the-track betting might replace the archaic numbers game in Harlem. Within months, this clearly proved to not be true. Numbers, in contrast to the off-the-track betting, $2 bet is still the favorite of the ghetto poor. Where else can a penny buy a dream? Religion may have a different meaning to blacks and whites in the country. Blacks are inclined to be skeptical of whites' professed religiosity. And the Cawthron study, the majority of the blacks polled were not sure where whites stand on religion and were apt to consider white Christianity insincere. Fucking Historically, the church was the only point of the congregation that allowed blacks as slaves. It became a social and emotional outlet. The moment the communion and solace that enabled slaves to face the next day. Through the church, they developed grace under pressure, grace that survives a hopeless present. The church and the vision of a hereafter became a survival mechanism with which slaves sought to control their hostility and despair. It still functions as the social center, the concert hall, and the psychiatric couch for many poor blacks. As a black girl from Laurel, Mississippi told me, without the church, I don't know how I would have gotten through each week. Lower class blacks held the most unfavorable view of whites, but blacks of all classes were inclined to believe that whites have low morals, a charge that has often been leveled at them by whites. Agreeing that many blacks have low morals, the blacks maintain they're apt to commit little crimes in contrast to whites' big crimes. Blacks also believe that whites are meaner and that and that blacks are basically a kinder people. There's some evidence that blacks may indeed be a kinder people than white. A study of comparative black and white attitudes towards violence made recently by the University of Michigan, the responses of white American males showed that their views on violence were unrelated to their moral values, such as kindness and compassion, where those of blacks were directly related. The rational mind sees violence as objectively understandable and necessary according to the relative situation, whereas blacks view violence in terms of personal moral values. A man who behaves in kindness does not believe in killing, regardless of the circumstance. This characteristic was illustrated in the tragic case of the winner of the Medal of Honor, Dwight Johnson of Detroit, who ended his life shot in a holdup. He turned out to have been under psychiatric care ever since he left the Army, was known to have suffered guilt and depression concerning his act of heroism in which he had killed 20 Vietnamese to save his military comrades. Despite the honor showered upon him, the black war hero had never regained his emotional balance following his acts of violence. He continued to experience guilt that he had survived, which his mother indicated drove him to suicidal behavior. Both black and white women who had intermarried claimed that their husbands as lovers were kinder, more affectionate, and more considerate than the men that they had known of their own race. Part of this might be explained by the fact that their previous relationships had been unsuccessful and had ended in divorce or, in the case of affairs, dissolution. Their partners also came into the union from previous relationships that had failed, and many therefore have been trying harder to make it a success. In a point of fact, both are probably right in the assessment of the virtues of their cross-racial mates. In either case, black or white man in position in which it's more important for him to prove that he's a good lover than he is making love to a partner of his own race. In a sense, he's upholding not only his own honor but that of his race. He also has his male pride to uphold in competition with the ghosts of lovers past. A young white college professor described the agony when he found out that a black girl he was dating was seeing a black man. I felt so insecure. If it had been another white man, I wouldn't have minded, he admitted. But I had nightmares about the big black stud and how badly I must measure up in comparison. Then I met him. He was a poet, slender, sensitive, scholarly fellow, like so many of my own friends. I should have realized that type of girl wouldn't have been interested in a stud. When, despite all the external and internal problems, mixed couples do make a success of their relationship, are apt to have closely shared interests, cultural and intellectual. Through exclusion of choice, they seem to spend more time alone together than most couples do. They turn to each other for companionship and shared pleasures. Mixed couples spoke of studying together, reading books together, listening to music together. When Rosemary was taking a course on China in the new school last year, Johnny studied her textbooks along with her. I honestly didn't think I could have passed the course without his help, she admitted. He read all the books that I did, and then we discussed them. I was amazed at what different things we could get out of the same book. He comprehended the action while I dug the mood thing. We got together because of our shared cultural interests in the first place, said David, a sculptor and a son of an international Jewish leader. to an ex-Catherine Dunham dancer, Catherine Dunham of East St. Louis, Sister Miriam. We've always frequented the same artistic and theatrical milieu. When I lived in New York, I regularly went to the Apollo Theater. I'd always been a jazz fan and a dance buff. In fact, I was more attracted to musicians, actors, and dancers than I ever was to artist groups. Our relationship was built on our common tastes. Blacks and whites who are venturing across the color line today represent a different background educationally, socially, and ethnically from the mixed couples of their parents' generation. Let us now examine segments of our population that are currently contributing to the largest number of white partners to interracial unions. Y'all want me to do a little bit more? Can I stop here? This isn't going to be that long, but I can stop. This is exactly 10 pages.
Okay, well, I know that we are going to do it.
So we can stop. We can, okay, good. Everybody, we thank you. The Angry Black Men's Book Club. In fact, can we do my chant? My chant is MFM. MFM, which stands for motherfucking money. It means reparations.
All right.
MFM. 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 Okay, we're going to stop. This concludes the Angry Black Men's Book Club. You know how to reach me. DrRandyShort@gmail.com is my personal email, as well as my Zelle and PayPal link. DrRandyShort. Yeah, people, if I don't call you, write me. I respond to emails. I'm not doing as much phone as I used to do. My mom still needs stuff. And so, DrRandyShort@gmail.com. That's
and if you can't get in touch with Dr. Short, message me. I'll get you in touch with him.
Sure.
Too.
And email's the best. And then the other thing is, so there's PayPal and Zelle. I have a couple more books I want to get. I do have enough, but we will be reading this week. I want to remind people, I've got these books on Black resistance. I'll be reading Force and Freedom, a little bit of this book. And also I got these books. I got this book on brooding revenge about black women killing white folk back during slavery. I got to figure out where it is. I know I got it. We Refuse, The Forceful History of Black Resistance. Because we're going to be talking about sex, race, resistance. And I'm going to get back to feminism. I know we were reading this book, this wonderful book, called The Record of Murders and Outrages. I was reading this the other night, talking about how all the black people were getting killed after the Civil War. We talk about books, so we don't just talk. We also read and we share. And I got a new book. Where is it? I should figure out where it was. It's a book talking about how all the black folks were dying in the camps after the Civil War. Oh, yes, they were letting black people die by the thousands. And I will be sharing different things. I may not read the whole book, but I'm going to read. Wait a minute. No. I put it somewhere else. Oh, my white Jesus. I'm not going to even bring him out. White Jesus needs some sleep. Also, I want to get a Middle Eastern looking Jesus and see if he can kick the white Jesus' ass. I don't think so. I think white Jesus. I'm putting my money on white Jesus winning. I think white Jesus is going to beat the brown Jesus' ass. That's why I serve him like psych. Also, y'all know I have a Patreon. It's Dr. Randy Short. I have a Venmo, Dr. Randy Short, DrRandyShort. And my Cash App, $ DrRandyShort. So you have all kinds of ways to support. Please like, share. Everybody, anyone that wants to help the channel, if you don't donate, that's okay. I would love for people to share the videos. Send my videos to people you hate. My motto is share Dr. Short with someone you hate. If there's someone white you can't stand, please send them my video. If you have a coon in your family, somebody you want to offend, I've had a lot of people when they want to get rid of someone, all they have to do is send them one of my videos, and that person stops talking to them. In fact, for Memorial Day, I'm going to read a little bit from this book here tomorrow. This is The Unerring Fire, The Fort Pillow Massacre, how white folk just mass murdered black people. This happened all over during the Civil War. They don't really
Oh, that
talk about.
sounds like a good read. That
This
sounds
is. I'm
really
going to
good,
read a
Dr. Short.
chapter 2 out of this book. I've got a couple books I've been getting on the Civil War. They're expensive. They're expensive, but I share it. Uh, mm. So I just want y'all to do that. So absolutely, drop me a piece. I still have some more things to get, but out of my library, y'all have no idea. I have so many damn books in here. I have to put them, organize them. But once I get this done, of course, pray for me. I injured my back a little bit, so I'm still a little bit behind. But pretty soon, I think between now and Friday, I have my Cali House book. I can reach right here, my medical apartheid book, Slavery by Another Name. I can have all my titles and all linked up. And pretty soon I would just be able to just break down and read like a portion and just do shorter videos. Because some of these things are too damn long. I understand people get tired. I want to say hi to Brother Freelo that is in Oakland. I want to say hi to Brother Whiteheart that's in Alabama. All of my moderators, God bless you. I hope that Negro. And let me see, can I do this? I can show the comments. I want y'all to, we're going to do something maybe tomorrow night if somebody wants to, Sister Miriam. And by the way, if you want to watch me, I've got multiple Twitter. I have multiple Twitter accounts. One Twitter account is Kuna Bomber. Kuna Bomber is COONABOB. Hold on. Kuna Bomber is one, and the other one. Oh, and so I need some followers in there because they give me hell on these platforms. If you saw what happened to this sister, they wouldn't even let her do a space. People you think I'm joking. Talk to people that do stuff with me. You say my name, all of a sudden it gets shut down. And all I'm doing is reading the book. I'm not all that fantastic. We don't have all the bells and whistles that different platforms have. What is it that we're doing here that you got to stop my ass? There's like 40 people watching. These people have thousands. You're scared. They're terrified of us thinking. They're terrified of us thinking.
Indeed.
Okay,
they do not want critical thinkers.
So
in our lineage.
They don't want us thinking. So I'm gonna put up my my Twitter accounts. There are two of them. There's Kuna Bomber and DRS1 C Buster. That stands for Dr. Randy Short 1 Coon Buster. I can't put coon. They wouldn't let me have coon. I'm one of those people, we use word coon so much, we started getting jammed on all the social media because the people couldn't handle it. But I will read more. I've got so many. You need to understand, we're in the family archives. Between my father and I, we must have about 15,000 books. Books on religion, books on race. We've been collecting books for 60 years. And there's a lot of different things, of antique things, old things, and I don't know. Our people need to read. We need to think. You need to look. And by the way, don't worry about the donation size. If you subscribe, like, share. Subscribe, like, share. If you donate. If you can't, do me a favor, send the video to 100 people. Put it up, especially if you want to piss people off. If you like, someone that is a swirler is going to hate this show. If you got a sick ass family member that just can't keep out of fucking white bushes, they need to be in white hedges, send this shit to them. I mean, they don't mean anything to me. I don't give a fuck how they feel about it. I mean, they could go to hell. So just share this, piss off someone that you don't like. I have a cousin. His wife was cheating on him and shit. You know what he would do? He would play my videos. Turn that motherfucker off. I hate him. He couldn't wait to introduce me to his wife through his phone. I can see that bitch wanted to kill me. I have a friend in Chicago who has like stud neighbors. And when she would make them mad, she would just turn my video on. Ladies would come. Turn that shit off. Who is that? If there's someone, use me as revenge. We have to make people who make us unhappy, let's make them miserable. You have a family member that doesn't get it? Stop sending me them fucking things. Who's this fucking Dutch? That motherfucker no real Dutch. Send it. Make the time that you set to listen to this. If you have friends that drive trucks, truck drivers love the Angry Black Men's Book Club. Because there are no commercials and shit. You could just listen for hours. You could drive to the moon and shit and listen to some of these broadcasts. So, absolutely, send me a piece. Because I got 1,000 followers. I would love to like get $1 a month or whatever. So I could like buy shit. I've got some books. Freelo, I'm still waiting for that book on slavery and Islam. Because I want to read that because a lot of Islamic niggas be lying. To have evidence and to do that, and by the way, with this DEI shit, they're destroying libraries across the country. You better get yourself some black books. This shit, they're erasing our history. You better get yourself some damn books. Because when that shit's gone, if you start looking, I mentioned Man, Child, and Promised Land, some other books. Those books are $200 or $300, $400 for paperback books we used to get for 50 cents. They want to destroy this information. That's one of the reasons I said I'm going to start reading, sharing, because a lot of people say, why do you think like you do? I don't hate people. I told you, I love my white ancestors. I don't sit up and disown. I don't do shit like that. I will tell you all about who I am, where I come from. But what shapes me is what I read, what I learn, what you study. So everything ain't my opinion. I don't run around having opinions about what I don't know. So give, subscribe, share, shout it out, put some shit on Twitter. I've got Instagram. If you find me, let's do stuff because we're shaking it up. And of course, please delineate in your sexual lives, please. Black men, the world's bigger than your dick. The world is bigger than getting white pussy that you're not married to. The world is bigger than busting a nut. Sisters, the world is bigger than munching some feminist coochie who's going to marry a white dude and call you nigga anyway. Okay? So, get that. We need to delineate not just for tethers, but for swirlers. Okay? MFM, God bless you and keep you. All of you that pray, please continue to pray for my beloved sister, Keisha Forrester, one of the coolest black women that ever walked the earth, the sister who brought down that faggot ass, African Bambaataa who's raping our kids in New York. That tethered rapist of black children, that sister, she needs your prayers. Her husband needs to come home to her. A lot of her, she's lost like 40 family members in the last year or two. It just made me, I almost gonna cry thinking about her husband dying after all of this. This woman's doing 3-4 funerals a week for a period of time. And that was really hurtful for me to hear a friend of mine. Now I'd say husband almost dead. Pray for each other, okay? I'm gonna check out here. I love everybody. And yes, I love those that love me. If you're white and you're loving, I love you back. And love, I'm not talking about anything carnal. I love you, sisters. I love you, beloved Nikki, beloved Miriam, beloved
you too, brother.
Devin,
Love you too.
beloved.
We love you too.
Oh my God, Sister Star, sweet, sweet, sweet Sister Star. All of you, love you guys.
Yes.
Brother Mark, I love you. I'm not talking about your butt cheeks or your nutsack. You're a good brother. Cool. One of the most legitimate black men in Southern California. I didn't even think it exists. Normally they're all chasing white pussy, Asian pussy, taco pussy. He's like the last good black man down there, you know, always a man trying to get some fajita. You think they're talking about Mexican? They're talking about fucking with some mamacitas. So he's a good brother. Bless all of y'all, okay? And yes. And no, pray to God, pray for Negroes to change, okay? And I pray for black people to change. Yes, and when you come back, there'll be lots of history and facts and lots of cussing. I found cussing upset fake black church people. If you're a fake church nigga, you're a church bitch, or a church asshole male, or nigga chicken bone preacher. Fuck you. And I love Jesus too, right? And fuck you and TD Jakes, his little faggot ass. I'm so glad he retired. And what kind of man has his daughter hunched over like she's about to get like mounted on her ass to get ordained? I mean, and you threw your
That's
cloak.
crazy.
And that was
It
nasty. And the way he
was.
put
I
his
see
cloak on
that.
her, I could see his pants falling on her instead of his cloak. I was like, I was done.
Ew.
Okay,
Ew.
y'all. And you know what? Fuck Diddy. All you guys that like him, he's not shit. Now, I hope that they get Clive Davis too. And eventually we're going to do a show on Diddy. Not right now. No, I don't like
Yeah.
Diddy. I never liked Diddy. I don't like Oprah. I don't like Tyler Ferry. Yes, I said it. Gay Z, Dr. Gay. None. I don't like none of the entertainers. I don't like any of them. Okay, I love real people. I love God. I love, and in fact, Selfish came down here. She didn't want time. She was mad her food dish was closed. She came down here and staged to sit in. You couldn't see it.
But
Yeah. No,
were you
she's
not sharing you didn't share your lemon ice with her? You just
no. She doesn't.
got
No, I
yours
had
special?
mango ice. I don't get lemon. Uh, I
Ooh,
think
mango.
I think that lemon has Chinese semen in it. I
Yeah. You want some mess.
I got mango and cherry. So those are my favorite. But there's a one that's
That
kiwi.
sounds good as hell. That
Kiwi.
sounds so damn good.
There's kiwi strawberry that is excellent. So I want to wish you all a wonderful night. We're gonna do this again. And anybody that has a question, by the way, the next time, we can have just a conversation, but tonight was to kick this off. So I'm asking Sister
Indeed.
Nikki and Sister Miriam, we got to have more, and maybe we'll be able to do this thing
Of course.
with
We can do
Black
this as many
Alpha,
times as you want.
and yeah, and
Yeah.
and we and you know what, we
Yep,
will.
an answering question period.
Yeah,
It would
and,
be
and
lovely.
I was looking to have a conversation. I was trying to do this with someone to have black men and black women have a conversation because there's a whole lot of bullshit people trying to put between black men and black women, and I don't care for it. So I'm looking to have a conversation with black men and black women together that we can actually love and be around each other and prove these people wrong. Okay, we've got to turn black America around for ourselves. Stop letting people tell us how to feel about each other. Okay, and everything. I love Sister Miriam. I call it all crazy hours. It isn't sex, but she treats me so well. I love her. And like I
Love you
I
too,
I
Doctor,
I,
and
I
you know
can't
it.
wait to get back to East St. Louis. I want to go to Milwaukee. I hate beer, but I want to meet Sister Nikki and just hang around. We're gonna do this stuff. And one last thing, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. Anybody that's in the
You
DMV.
have met me. We met each other. We have a picture together. We
Okay.
met each other.
Okay, good. Okay. Sometimes I forget. But I want to meet you in Milwaukee. Anybody in the DMV in the
Yep,
great
you want to hang locally.
in the greater DC area, I'm going to start a GoFundMe because Jaguar Wright is coming, and Jaguar Wright's against human trafficking, and I want to support that. She's doing an event on the 27th of June at the Bethesda Theater, and I'm going to start a GoFundMe because the tickets are very, very high. But I want to see if I can at least work with or help maybe 15 to 20 people to go. So don't worry, I have my damn ticket. But other people may want to go. And depending on how much I get, if I can talk to the theater, even if I give people half of what their ticket price is, versus paying $100, imagine if you could go if you paid $50. Wouldn't that be cool? And that way we can have a bunch of really cool people that really appreciate Jaguar because there's going to be some hater asses there.
Indeed,
And y'all
and
need
that's
to,
what you need, the black
we need
grassroots,
some
that's
real
our call.
grassroots people that aren't on bullshit to be there for our sister Jaguar. She's not like what y'all think she is. I know what it's like to pray with her, talk to her. They like food, they like cooking, they're smart. The world is bigger than just talking about the rap bullshit. I don't talk to them about that. I talk about TD Jakes' ass. Okay, that's the person I'm mad at. You want to understand who I'm pissed off? I'm pissed off at the church niggas that went to the freak offs. Church niggas that can't talk about AIDS or STDs or contraception or family planning in the church, but yet they can go to a freak off. That's the shit that sets me off. The entertainers have always been nasty. That shit's old. But these church people to be filthy and vile, to push things like the jab, to be silent about human trafficking, and that's why when you see me at Jake's, I just go off. Take Dick's Jake's. I said it, and I'm gonna keep talking about him, and the Pootie house. I hope the roof fall in. I hope they have a damn tornado tear the roof off that bitch. All that bogus ass bootleg ministry that they've had. Yes, I don't like fake church stuff. That's why I don't go to churches that much anymore. You know, I'm allergic to bullshit. Anyway, y'all have a great Memorial Day. Remember, Memorial Day was for the tens of thousands of black men who died. And remember, black men served in the United States Army, those that could pass for white. Multiple people in my family served in both the colored forces and the United States colored troops, and they served in the regular thing. I mean, any way that they could fight against our enslavement. So when you hear 40 or 45,000 black folks died in the Civil War, that's a lowball number because they died in the other forces as well. So maybe 100,000 black men died in the Civil War, and tens of thousands of blacks were killed in the aftermath, the post-conflict of the Civil War. Take Memorial Day seriously. This is more Juneteenth to me than Cooneteenth, where everybody else from other countries pretending it's their damn holiday. Okay, don't eat any curry goat on Juneteenth. And no fufu either. I'm not knocking, but don't show any kente cloth, not on Juneteenth. Okay, stick to the colors. MFM, everybody, and share this, okay?
MFM.
Okay, good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night, doctor. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.